Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
We are back! The third annual Pub Sports Radio Cappers Contest is ready for registration. 5 picks each week against the spread, and we battle for cash.
All picks lock. Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Top 10% gets paid out at the end of the season. Sign up right now at pubsportsradio.com.
Congratulations to last year's champions, Guillermo Zertucci and Sharpie, who were tied atop the leaderboard. But Jose, why don't we hear from our inaugural champion, Peter Loshak?
Yeah, last year, before the season started, Slaughter called me. He was like, could you not win it this year? And I was like, Jeff, anything. You don't even have to think about it. You know what I mean? So I did that. He hasn't called me so far this year.
Okay.
If he does, I'm not going to win it. If he doesn't, all bets are off, pal.
Oh, I like it.
All bets are off if I don't get that call. You know what I mean?
Wow, Pete. Thanks for your generosity.
I can't wait! September 5th, Thursday night is game 1, but your picks have to be in by Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We battle for infamy! We battle for the Cappers Contest Pub Sports Radio Championship. Upgrade your membership to Gold. You will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses.
Shout out to the gold members. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
And there's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy. 19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoking Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado custodian. Willie Friedrich. Jones one all coming down with the advantage.
Point! Fired! Nowhere!
Oh no! And Fanatical Jim! Fanatical.
Get 'em, Jimmy, where Loshak at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm the cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, Bouquett, produce, fade the juice, let loose.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, August 21st to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Look, I try not to get caught up in good luck situations, but sometimes when you hit rock bottom, you need a crutch. Look, I'll take one. As I said, I will rock the Pistol Pete Loshak shirt. I won't wash it. I will rock it until we have a losing day. We have hit one in a row. I hope I never take the shirt off. It could have been a monster day, but it was a very strong day. 6-2 plus 4.77 units. It's gotta. The bounces have just not been going my way for such a long period of time. Well, since July 2nd, I was like, they're going to start going my way. And a couple bounces went my way yesterday. And it felt good. The Teoscar Hernandez foul, missed being a home run by, 2 feet, 3 feet. That would have pushed the Mariners first 5. So that was an important foul. And I think more bounces are going to start going my way. We cashed the Orioles at plus 106, Mariners first 3 plus 120, Mariners first 5 plus 125, Guardians plus 133. The Guardians, very good baseball team. That Yankees Guardians game was very fun to watch. 2 really good ball clubs. Cleveland, New York, first 5 under 4.5 was bad. I mean, I had the first 5 under 4.5 in Cleveland, New York, and I pushed White Sox, San Francisco, first 5 under 4. If I had just taken those both full games, instead of that going 0-1, that's 2-0. Reds plus 109 was a mistake, but Brewers plus 106 cashed. Got a little tight there late, but then Williams took care of it. LA, KC, first 5 under 4.5. I mean, I can't tell you how many first 500. I want to stop betting first 500s, and those are my only 2 bets today. But 0-0 going to the 4th, then 2-2 going to the 5th. I was thankful to cash the first 5 under 4.5. The 2 unders that I wanted that I didn't have the balls to pull the trigger on both cashed. The Arizona Miami under, first game we talked about in there. If I have been rolling well, I would have bet that under, but I was gun shy. And then that Rockies under, Pete took first 5 under 4.5 at minus 130, and then I just was uncomfortable with that minus 130, and then I had the first 5 under 4 at plus at even money, or I think it was even money, loaded up, and I just couldn't press the trigger. I couldn't pull the button. I just felt that I needed to get that first 5 under 4.5, which was available earlier in the day. So, I hope I'm wearing this shirt tomorrow. I hope I'm wearing this shirt the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. Look, sometimes you need some good vibes, and I need them bad. I need them so bad. Thank you guys all for joining us. We had a lot of winners yesterday. Going over to the highlights section of Pub Sports Radio. Jose Bouquett off of a strong day. Jose Bouquett fighting the good fight, riddled with COVID, and yet he's going to be rocking with us today. A little bit on edge. I kind of like him. Edgy. Crystal Craig cashed her action, her play of the day. Brewers team total over 2.5, and Willie Contreras hit cashed that. Ronnie Crawford cashed with the Brew Crew and with the Mystics plus 6.5. Kept me off the storm. Wine Time Sports doing what he does, man. Cashing. Cardinals, Brewers under 7.5. Cubs, Tigers under 7.5. Cashed for him. Joe Thompson cashed with the Brewers. A lot of us cashed with the Brewers. It was excellent work. Excellent work, and we need more of it so desperately. Shout out to Justin McKelvey in the house, a proud grandpa for the 2nd time. That was very exciting. A very exciting day for you yesterday, and congratulations to the McKelvey family. Stacks play of the day, Devers over 1.5 bases at plus 108. Let's get that copied and pasted. We have MLB, afternoon MLB action. We're also going to cap the Dublin game with Daby Cab. We're going to cap the Dublin game. There's some other college football games that we will cap tomorrow. But today we're going to get started with our first cap on the Florida State-Georgia Tech game, which is a real fascinating game with wonderfully interesting line movement. So we'll go over all of that. Crystal Craig, fresh off. Crystal Craig running nice. She's got Jock Peterson, a hit. Aaron Judge hit. Parlay at plus 117 for Crystal Craig. Let me copy and paste that. Crystal, keep up the great work. We'd love to see it. Truth Teller in the house. And look at Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play of the day on Johnny Cueto. 38-year-old shimmy shaking Johnny Cueto. look, I don't know what to do with Cueto, but I am surprised that the Pig Milk play today has such confidence in Johnny Cueto. Interesting spot. I mean, Cueto looked so bad all year in the minors until he was moved to the Angels franchise. 4 starts in the minors with their AAA affiliate, and he looked quite good. I have no idea what he's going to give you. I like fading him. I don't know if I can do that now. But Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play today on Johnny Cueto. Billy Friedrich also like in Baltimore, New York Mets, first 5 under 4.5. Jake Berger over 1.5 bases, and Phillies money line. It was a winning day, and I needed it desperately. My bankroll needed it desperately. But there was mistakes made, and the one thing that really affected me was that I was able to let the market get me off of the Phillies and Zach Wheeler. I don't understand why I then wasn't on a first 5 under or an under in the game. If the market was telling me that Ronaldo Lopez was going to have a strong start off of the IL, which he had, despite his velocity dropping a little bit in his rehab starts, why didn't I then at least connect? Well, I know Wheeler's going to have a good start. So if Lopez is too, I mean, when I was watching that game go, I was like, how did I not connect the dots there? And I know that we sometimes are overloaded with information, but that really, really should have been connected. Troy Torrance says he'll be in meetings, but here's what he's got so far. Phillies money line for 2 units, Yanks first 5 minus a half, and Mets first 5 money line. I retweeted what Troy did last night. Troy's running dumb hot. I hope I can ride the coattails of Troy Torrance and stay hot. One day it's not hot, but win myself. What a monster day you had yesterday, Troy. I'd love to see it. Gerald Jones, the best bet, Milwaukee Brewers minus 110. I have one bet that I made, and it was the first 5 under. Oh no, I've made 2 bets now. But I made one bet last night. That was that first 5 under 4 with Crochet and Logan Webb, and it was wild. At the time, Pinnacle had the first 5 under 4 at minus 139, and 365 wasn't changing off their minus 120. I couldn't understand it. So I bet the first 5 under 4 minus 120. Pinnacle kept moving theirs. So an hour and a half later, I checked again. It was still minus 120 at 365, and now it was minus 143 at Pinnacle. Of course, it's being changed now, but 23 cents better at 365 on the same bet than Pinnacle. I've never seen before. And hopefully that'll lead me to the bank. It's actually come back a little bit, but when I looked maybe 2 or 3 hours ago, it's minus 153 now at Pinnacle. So I essentially, in my head, beat that move by 33 cents, but that doesn't always equate to cash. My dude in the house, Swiggy, ready to get to work. Truth Teller says he likes the Orioles. Ron Crawford, play today dog for Ronnie Crawford is these Philadelphia Phillies at plus 103. Philadelphia Phillies at plus 103. Let's get that here ready to rock. Thank you for sharing that with us, Ron. Crystal Craig, also more action, the over 8.5 in Arizona, Miami. Let's get that here locked and loaded. Mexican Elvis, Ron Lofton in the house. Ronnie Lofton ready to get to work. Great to see all of you guys. Great to see all of you guys. Let me make sure that I got everything locked and loaded. The Clark Edge. Clark Edge, can you get in touch with me as well on X? Get in touch with me on X, my friend. I know you're interested in making some appearances on the show and on our channel. So please get in touch with me, my friend. He's on the under 8.5 with Texas, Pittsburgh. My dude coming off a 3-2 day, a winning day. Every day in the black is a good day. Wine Time Sports in the house. Yes, the Phillies are raking lefties. Absolutely raking lefties. That's a fascinating spot that we'll be breaking down. Ron Crawford play today is the links. There's Kelly McInnes ready to get to work. Kelly McInnes said the stat for Cleveland being 12-1 on Tuesday was fantastic. Those were 2 very good baseball teams playing last night. I enjoyed watching that game immensely. Just good baseball. Now, things fell apart in the 12th inning, but good God, was that just 2 very good baseball teams. Nuke Worker, it did work well. We'll use it again. We'll keep rolling. Sweaty Butcher in the house. Locked and Loaded says, morning, fellas, in the Excalibur as we speak, ready to send it. Mally Mal, Irvin over 3.5 Ks. Giants, Nerfy, Astros, first 5 over 4.5. Let's get that copied and pasted here. Locked and Loaded. What did I miss? Oh, that's what I missed. I put in the Clark Edge twice. Ron Crawford's Lynx play of the day. Take that all the way down to WNBA. We're going to go into college football after MLB. So we'll have that game. We're going to have our live stream on Saturday as well. Let's get this WNBA play of the day for the Lynx copied and pasted. Mally Mal, I got your action. My friend, right under the Clark Edge. We are in business. Markel ready to get to work. Billy Friedrich ready to go. Mally Mal says Brewers money line was money. Orioles first 5. Justin McKelvey says very tired. Yeah, respect, man. Respect. What a family you have. And we sure love capping with you, Justin, my man. And you're going to see more of Justin McKelvey here on our channel. And Collins Clip says, I have 4 official plays on week 0. I will put them in the chat as soon as I get them in. I'd love to hear that, Kong. Love to hear that, Kong. And Billy Friedrich says he is biased towards Johnny Cueto. Dutch Boy Fresh on Georgia Tech plus 11.5 line continues to drop. He says anything more than 10 is good money. It's going to be a great breakdown because we will discuss, Dutch and the Cappers on Georgia Tech. And you're going to hear another side of the story from our guy, Dabra Cadabra. So it's going to be fun. It's fun when, there's not agreement. It makes it fun. And it'll make the live stream a lot of fun as well. Okay. Locked and Loaded says Orioles first 5 or Mets and Orioles first 5 over. So torn between the two fellas. We'll break that all down. Wine Time agreeing with Dutch got plus 13 a few weeks ago. Attaboy, Wine Time. That is a nice number. There's certainly continuity on the side of Georgia Tech, which could be very helpful here in week 0. It's going to be fun. Brent Key had a great first year as coach, and they're moving in the right direction. We're going to talk all about it. So Lil Domo ready to get to work. 9 legacy in the house. Blue Jays money line and run line parlay today. Baltimore Orioles, Pirates, Red Sox, Marlins, and Twins for 9 legacy. Let's get that copied and pasted and set up for us to discuss here. Great to see all you guys. So Lil Domo in the house. Sharpie, Barrios' daddy in the house, is now 17-3 when I bet Barrios on the year. Waiting on lineups. Got Flaherty with 10+ on this projected lineup. Wow. God, it's great to have Sharpie in the chat because Flaherty, of course, that first start with the Dodgers was great, but the last 2 were pretty underwhelming. And a fascinating look there from Sharpie that we will be able to discuss. Wine Time Sports on the under 56 as well in Florida State, Georgia Tech. We will talk all about that here. Let's get this up here and have it broken down. Parlangel in the house. Of course, if you guys don't roll with our guy Parlangel, you wouldn't know that his son is a phenomenal young pitcher. And we will be living vicariously through Parlangel's son as he climbs his way to a scholarship. Maybe he just wants to get drafted out of high school and get that signing bonus. That's up to you guys, Parlangel. But keep us in touch with what your boy is doing. We are proud of him and love the family, Parlangel. So shout out to our guy, Parlangel, and his son. Nate Dogg 420 ready to get to work. And there we go. The new worker says, I donated my $100 to the Cappers contest last night. Yes, the Cappers contest, the 3rd annual Cappers contest in business here. And man, are we pumped up. We are very, very excited about the Cappers contest. As always, we're going to have the Cappers contest show. And we're excited. The inaugural champion, Peter Loshak. Last year, Sharpie and Guillermo Zertucci tied among at the top of the leaderboard. And don't forget about the survivor pool as well. 100 American for each. Please be a part of it. The more people, the more fun it is. And we'll be talking about it nonstop throughout the year. And we'll be talking about it in our Cappers contest show. We will toast the victors. We will roast the losers. And there's a special bonus on top of the cash. There is more money being invested on top of the buy-ins, which is really, really, really exciting. It's going to add a lot of fun to it, and we are going to announce it at the end of the week. But there is a big bonus. There's a cash coming in to the Cappers contest that we're excited about. Really, really, really excited about. Crystal Craig liking the Mets' first 5-2 says right-handed batters on the Mets who are good versus lefties are going to have a day. MMA guy ready to go. Philly Eagle Flyer, Robert Franklin, Steven Fehrenbach in the house says, morning, guys. Let's get that cash. Philly Eagle Flyer off a great, great day yesterday, too. If you're watching these tied after 2 and the big plus lines he gets with that. Robert Franklin on SMU, first half minus 13.5. That will be capped tomorrow. But I'm going to copy and paste all of that here so I can keep that in mind as we break that game down. Let's get that locked in here. All right. Raymond Reichart says I show both the Mets and the O's pretty good versus lefties. Why a 7.5? We're going to talk all about that. Great to see all of you guys. So it is time to get to work. Oh, my dude says if you got to choose between which one to be in, Jimmy, my dude, would you do the Survivor or the Cappers contest? The Cappers contest. It's I like Survivor. It's a fun pool to be a part of, and there's a big cash out at the end. But the Cappers contest, 5 picks against the spread, is the one. That's the one. So we can. There's way more bragging rights on the line. You need to be a little bit fortunate in the Survivor. All right, let's go and let's get to work. Let's bring on the star of MLB programming here on Pub Sports Radio, fighting the good fight, riddled with COVID. Do you think he's going to miss a day? Absolutely not. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101, the best bar in Texas. Please welcome Jose Bouquett to the telecast. Jose, how are you?
I'm not doing well. I'm dying slowly. But we went 3-1 yesterday, and I didn't watch a second of baseball, so we're back at it again.
Well, I watched baseball for hours upon hours.
Thank God someone did here.
Yes. So let's roll. Nuki, you're all good, man. Says he's already in Survivor Pool, my local bar. Thank you for being a part of the Cappers contest.
Yep. Thank you, Nuke. Appreciate it. I'm sweating out of every pore of my body, and at the same time, I'm cold. This is the worst.
Slatsy said, my wife Tammy just asked, are they making that poor man do the show again? And
shout out to Tammy. I hope she still has. Does Tammy have the picture of Bo Bichette in her wallet? Is that Tammy?
Oh, I forgot about that.
No, that's Bo Jackson's wife.
No.
Tammy, I was right.
It was Tammy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tammy
good. Shout out to you, Tammy.
Yeah. No, that's.
I'm sure that picture's still there.
No, why would she keep it? He's been horrific this year. You know how much money he's cost himself? I hope. I'm sure Dante knows how much money Bo's cost himself this year. And Vladdy Guerrero Sr. is in the opposite side of things, knowing that his son's going to cash for $300
Well, it's
million.
unfortunate Vladdy's only going to make like $295.
No, I'm gonna get a stake back here on this one. Slatsy says always so say Slatsy in the house. Anthony Richardson, great to see you. Professor Chris in the house. Nate Dogg ready to get to work. There's nothing more important than winning, and I need it so bad that I will play the good luck charm.
I want it so bad that I'm willing to die on screen.
This
is what we need. By the way, I smell so fucking bad right now. Oh,
I can almost smell you through the camera. I believe it.
I took a shower, didn't put in deodorant, fucking just laying in my filth and sweat for the last 24 hours. It's awesome.
Well,
let's get to this fucking baseball.
Yeah, let's move from your horrific body odor, which
stinky pussy.
It's not a stretch. That's not hard for us to believe. Let's move on to afternoon baseball. I have made 2 bets on the card. I imagine you've made 0.
I've made 0, but I have a few that I've got locked in, especially in game duh.
Let's get to work. 1:10 p.m. Eastern with the Baltimore Orioles, 74 and 53, 37 and 25 on the road at the New York Mets, 65 and 61, 34 and 33 at home. Kenny Can in the house. Professor Chris says, my numbers have the Orioles money line minus 106, so we bet them at plus 115. Let's copy that comment from Professor Chris. We're at Citi Field in Queens, New York.
Pretty crazy that Raymond Reichart and Troy both like Mets first five, but Raymond Reichart saying minus 140 first five compared to full game minus 125.
It's the cold. There's a few pitchers here where I don't feel like I have the obviously numbers are what drive edges and angles, but I love the psychology behind situations, and I always have. Shout out to our guy Nate Dogg with the $20 dono. Says thank you everybody for helping me have a winning day. It's Nate Dogg. He's a hell of a capper, but I love to see it. Nate Dogg, thank you for the $20 dono to bless our action. Let's have ourselves a day, my friend.
Yeah, shout out to you, Nate Dogg.
Dog blessing our action. What a guy. He's been he this is not easy to succeed in, and he does, but also always sharing with the channel. Good man, and thank you. Okay, Citi Field in Queens, New York. Cole Irvin has a bit of a different situation here, and we'll go over exactly what it is. And I'm not entirely sure how he's going to handle all of this, so we'll get to it. 71 Fahrenheit, 9.4 miles per hour, left to right. It's very slightly in at first, and then it's just left to right. It gets a little stronger, 9.9, 10.8, but it's just left to right. We have Cole Irvin on the hill, and that is the most interesting part of this baseball game, is that Cole Irvin, who was designated for assignment, picked up by nobody, could have been put on a roster. It was right before the roster time. And hasn't looked very good in the minors. We'll go over all of this. This total is at 8.5. 8.5. There has been 6 cents of movement to the over from minus 102 to minus 108. These are pinnacle line moves. On the money line, we have the Orioles right now at plus 124. They opened up at plus 117. There really wasn't a big move until this 10-cent move that happened 10 minutes ago. So, or I guess 11 minutes ago, there was a 10-cent move towards the New York Mets and Sean Manaea, who's been very good this year, surprisingly, very, very good this year. Let's get into the line. Oh, sorry. Let's get into the cash flow, and then we'll set up the X's and O's. Cash flow wise, God, sorry, I got too many things up here. Cash flow wise, we have 85% of the tickets, 81% of the cash on the over. 69% of the tickets and 82% of the cash on the New York Mets. Justin McKelvey just moved on the Mets, first 5 minus a half at plus 107. Mally Mal says, Jimmy, the first early move you consider the sharp move? Not really, not fully, because there are limits at that point. So you can't. Now, this line came out at 7:41 this morning. This line hasn't been out for very long. I'm sure the limits were not, they didn't exist when this came out. But when the line comes out from Bet Online at 2:30 p.m., the day before the game, there are real limits. When this comes out at Pinnacle at 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m., there are real limits. Those limits don't get lifted till around 10 or 11 at night. So I think that most of the pros are looking for that move around 11 or midnight, without limits. There's different ways to kind of break down that thought, but that's the way I kind of see things. Let's talk about Cole Irvin. His last appearance wasn't that bad. It was against the Jays. It was an 8-4 loss. He was coming out of the bullpen at the time. The Orioles right now have 5 starters on IL and only one opening day of the starting 5. Only one Corbin Burns, only one pitcher is healthy. So on July 30th, Cole Irvin was designated for assignment. He was demoted to the bullpen in early July. So as a starter, he's been good. 14 starts. He's at a 4.06 ERA. they moved him to the bullpen, and it's just not something he was good at. He's an older pitcher. He couldn't do it. He allowed 17 earned runs over 19 and a third. He wasn't good for being a long man in the pen. He just wasn't good for anything. So they sent him outright to Norfolk after he was picked up by nobody. There he allowed 3 earned runs over 6 and 2/3. Now he's back, and he's expected to be sent right back to AAA after this outing. It's even being said it doesn't matter what he does. He could be great here, and he's going back to the minors. So psychologically, I don't really know where his head's at. This isn't something Jose and I talk about a lot when you have a 24, 25, 26-year-old kid who gets, a couple months in the show, doesn't look great, and then he goes back to the minors for, 6 weeks or at least 6 weeks, starts riding the bus again, understanding how special he had it in the show, and then you see, him come up back to the show and start delivering. This isn't that, but I don't know exactly what it is. Cole Irvin, of the big unknowns in this, you'd have to say that Johnny Cueto and Cole Irvin are the biggest unknowns in this card. Now, do we focus on the fact that Cole Irvin as a starter has been good this year, and the Mets are tough against lefties, 257, 760 OPS since August 1st. Not as tough as the Orioles, 289, 856 OPS. These Orioles are rolling against lefties. Sean Manaea has been very good. 7-3 win at home. Last out, 7 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 Ks, 1 walk. He's got consecutive starts at home. He's actually been better on the road than he's been at home. 5-3, 3.82 ERA, 216 opponents batting average. So we have 69% of tickets and 82% of the cash on the New York Mets. The line's moving in their direction. Then we have the total has moved just 6 cents, only 6 cents. And we have 85% of tickets and 81% cash on the over. Jose Bouquett, riddled with COVID, understanding the importance of getting paid. Nice to see Ladybug rolling with us. Great to have you back in action. Take it away for us here, Jose. Manaea, Irvin, our afternoon action.
Yeah, shout out to Miss Ladybug, and shout out to the whole chat except for one dude that I had to give a 5-minute sussy for being a dumb cunt.
Let's stay focused.
Hard C. Yeah, I'm passing on this game. I find it interesting that all the teams in the league had a chance to get Cole Irvin, and he's not horrible, and they all just said no thanks. And I find that to be fascinating. It makes me not want to back him, honestly. And it's not like the Orioles haven't needed pitching. The Orioles have needed pitching all year, and now they're finally coming to use him here. So I stayed off. They leaned over in this game, but I just, Jimmy, I find it difficult to bet any kind of over with all the money and shit on the over. So no action for me here to start this game.
Yeah, Kong got his college picks in. This is a dead over, says Billy Friedrich, and Kong's clips. I got his action here.
He's saying dead over for Florida State, Georgia Tech.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I was.
But yeah, I think this is an over game. I just don't trust, obviously, all the money on the fucking over with all the games. One day I'll get over that, but.
Yeah, well, I don't think you need to get over that. Let me make sure I got Kong's clips action, and then.
By the way, I saw Kong, you betting Hawaii -40, and I was like, holy shit. That's a hell of a line. So good luck, Kong. SMU, Hawaii, New Mexico, and Florida State. So shout out to you.
Yes, and all those games will be capped tomorrow with the lighter MLB card. We'll have a little bit more time. Stephen Fehrenbach says Orioles are always good to score 0 runs when they're expected to score. Mets probably just beat them 5-2. Big show picks in the house. Shout out to the Contender live stream that you guys had, which was followed by the Locker Room podcast. The Locker Room podcast up and rolling. The squad running so nice. That's on our YouTube page. Shout out to the guys. Shout out to the squad. All right. So Cole Irvin only makes $2 million a year too. Like it's anybody.
Yeah, why does no one want him?
Yeah,
in a league where pitching is very helpful. So that's what made me stay off. And again, I haven't really understood why the Mets are favored in this series the whole time. So
Yeah, well, it was a nice cash we had on the Orioles. I can understand the over being bet. This is I guess it's no action for me either. I don't know what to do with Cole Irvin. I found it very difficult all year to believe the numbers that Minaya is delivering. And it's funny. I talked about Cole Irvin being a huge question mark, Johnny Cueto being a huge question mark, and I didn't even mention Justin Verlander. So let's talk about another huge question mark on today's card, the second afternoon game, 2:10 p.m. Eastern, and Jose is locked and loaded for this one. We got locked and loaded sports investing and sports talk in the house.
thank you, Locked.
Boston Red Sox 66-59, 37-27 on the road at Houston Astros 68-57, 35-28 at home at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Cooper Criswell has not started for a long time. Last appearance was just 3 1/3 out the pen, 12-10. There was an opener. Was that right? In that one?
Yeah. Yep.
On the road, he struggled all year. 3-2, 5.25 ERA, 3.22 opponents batting average. He's only allowed 2 home runs, but not getting strikeouts when he needs them. High walk rate. And then we have Justin Verlander back. So we have not seen him in a long time. Last Thursday, 6 days ago, he completed his second rehab outing at Corpus Christi AA. He threw 57 pitches over 4 innings. He allowed 1 earned run, 2 runs in total on 4 hits, no walks, struck out 5. So he's pitched 7 innings in his 2 rehab appearances. He's allowed 2 earned runs. His pitch count went up from 52 in his first rehab appearance on August 10th to 57 last Thursday. So he's certainly not built up yet. He's not going to hit the 75 pitch mark. Is that fair to say, Jose?
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
So 2 questionable pitchers, and we've seen a lot of runs in this series. There's no reason why you wouldn't think there'd be more of that. Also, in Verlander's body of work this season, he's thrown 57 innings. Only 16 2/3 have come at Minute Maid. And he's not looked good there. In those 16 2/3, he allowed 5 home runs, 9 strikeouts, and 7 walks. Red Sox are hitting 298, 25 OPS since August 1st, first righties. Astros 265, 782. Red Sox bullpen's being just an atrocity. 6.30 ERA, 1.55 whip since August 1st, while the Astros bullpen 2.60 ERA, 1.10 whip.
I don't think I've seen Professor Chris and shout out to Professor Chris. He drops his model all the time. I don't think I've seen him go put a Red Sox minus 128 here. Maybe it was supposed to be a plus, but I've never seen one of your numbers that far off, Chris. So I'm very interested.
Well, that's why he likes him at this plus price. By the way, Guillermo Zertucci in the house. So we have our 2 champions of last year's Capper contest, Guillermo Zertucci and Sharpie in the house. Can they defend the title? Because it's a lot of pressure defending a title. Loshak buckled. Now he claims that.
Yeah, I told Pete the whole year I'd be fucking coming for his neck, and he folded. I know a thing or two about pressure and folding as well. So unfortunately, I can't talk too much shit.
Fap win in the house with his vat of lube.
Oh, thank God.
He is on Finger Lakes, race 7, the one lock box.
Oh my God. I thought that said luck box for a second. I was like, holy shit, does Dennis Garcia have a fucking horse? Oh my God.
Let's roll here in this one. Red Sox Astros. So let's go over the line history in this one. We have Verlander at minus 137, open up minus 141. There's been 4 cents of movement towards the Boston Red Sox. On the total, we've seen a lot of runs. I was surprised at this number. Okay, I wasn't that surprised that it was open at an 8.5 juice to the over. I wasn't surprised that it went to 9. I was surprised that it came back to 8.5. It came back to 8.5 at 8:03. Oh, sorry, 8:24. No, yeah, 8:03 this morning. It came back to 8.5. And then when it did, I thought we'd be going back to 9 at some point. That's not happened, and now it's a legit 8.5. there's been 3 cents of movement towards the under. That caught me by surprise here. So take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett, Red Sox, Astros.
Shout out to you, Anthony Richardson. Kind of the same thing I'm looking at. He likes team total over 3.5 for Los Red Sox. I agree. I had 3 bets written down for this game, and I was just trying to decide if I was going to bet 2 or one of them and see how it goes. The over was kind of obvious, but I'm taking that one off clearly because of the line movement and all that stuff. I thought this would be an over written all over it, but I think that this might be the start of the Red Sox bullpen turn. They held a lead yesterday, which felt like a miracle. And the Astros used a shitload of bullpen arms yesterday. Now, is it their best arms? No, but they still used them. 23 from Caleb Ferguson, 26 from Sean Dubin, 25 from Caleb Ort, and 24 from Brian King. I honestly don't know if they'll be available here today. And even if they are, like I said, I don't love taking pitchers or relief pitchers off their second day. Back-to-backs, that's just not an appealing spot for me. Josh Hader, Taylor Scott, and Brian Abreu, obviously those are the 3 best arms probably, and they'll be available today, so that'll be a concern, but I think the Red Sox win this baseball game. So I'll double up here. Red Sox team total over 3.5, which, like I said, was kind of exactly what I was thinking there, Anthony Richardson, and money line for me. Now, everyone, and by the way, I'm looking for the team total now, and I fucking cannot find it, but we'll get there in a second. One of my big things this year has been kind of fading these old man pitchers. And what's funny is that my record against like Kershaw, Verlander, Scherzer has probably been shit this year. But they all just are in and out of the fucking rotation like no one's business. I mean, Scherzer's probably is out. Verlander's coming back. Kershaw's finally back. I mean, I don't know. It's been an interesting thing that I've been wrangling with in my head. I just don't think back these old man pitchers and be confident about it. So Red Sox for me.
Give me the numbers when you can. I'm uncomfortable here with the spot. I mean, what is your expectation of Cooper Criswell here?
I think the line tells me he pitches well. Like the line movement, we've seen it going down totals wise. It's coming down money line wise. So I think he does pitch well. And this is going to be a semi-pseudo bullpen day for the Red Sox as well. Expect 4, maybe 5 innings from Criswell, maybe. Well, that leaves us with basically the full bullpen being ready to go. Zach Kelly threw 8, Weiser 9, Luis Garcia 9, and Kenley threw 4 pitches on Monday and threw 12 yesterday. I'd be a little surprised if he went today again, but if it was a safe situation and the Red Sox obviously need this game, don't be surprised if he comes in. I just think this game is really important to the Red Sox because they're starting to lose touch with the wild card and the whole thing. It's been nothing but bullpen chatter for the last fucking 2 weeks. I'm just talking about how bad the bullpen's been. And the Astros, like I said, I honestly think the Astros are kind of chilling right now. I don't know if you saw it, Jimmy. One of the weird things I saw at my COVID stupor this morning was the general manager of the Seattle Mariners basically just fucking throwing in the towel already. He just said, like, yeah, this season's been offensively, such a disappointment from the general managers to the managers to the coaches and blah, blah, blah. They're fucking done. The Mariners threw in this towel. They're done. So Red Sox win this game, and then you'll cash your Astros future by, like, what, 6 games? It's going to be over. The Red Sox. And by the way, Red Sox just money line for me. I have only 4.5 team totals. I wanted a 3.5. So money line plus 119 for me, official.
Money line plus 119. And what was the team total over 3.5?
No, there's no 3.5s on my book. I only have 4.5, so I'm just gonna bet the money line. It's a plus money 4.5, which makes sense. But Yeah, I lean over, but the line movement from 9 to 8 has me sketched out. So
Interesting. Remo says total 8.5, not 9. It was 9 though, so that was a valid number at one point. I'm going to stay off of it here. This market is getting me off of the over, which is fine. And I don't want to sit here and feel like I have a real sense of what Criswell and Verlander are going to do. The market is indicating that they're going to pitch well. And I would prefer to see it before I bet it. So let's roll on to the next spot on the board. 2:35 p.m. Eastern. We have the Pittsburgh Pirates, 59-66.
Oh, real quick, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Quick, since you said I'm a little bit on edge, Ish Wiz yesterday was talking shit to me about my 400 losses, and now I see him lose 5 units on Ohtani. Ish, you hate to see it, Ish. You hate to see that.
It doesn't matter how many losses you have. Of course, it's where you're at unit wise.
Oh yeah, no, Ish. He didn't understand that, I guess. But it's nice to see you again, Ish. Thank you for coming back.
But let's get to work here. Domingo Germán against Andrew Heaney. Domingo Germán has looked terrible in AAA. I find it extremely difficult to believe that he's going to be able to come up here against the Rangers, except for the fact that the Rangers have given up. They're 11 games under 500. They're not hitting with any power at all. But Germán had a 5.29 ERA and a 1.43 whip through 13 starts. Andrew Heaney is not to be trusted. His last 2 starts haven't been very good. That Carlos Santana 3-run home run in his last start, that hurts. That hurt as bad as any hit that's hurt this year. But
you'll remember that home run for the next 5 years.
Honestly, I'll remember it for the rest of my life because I was sitting with my kids and they're watching a movie and I was and then I just started dripping sweat. Now they didn't notice it.
Yeah. No, I mean, everyone can clearly notice me dripping sweat, but my hands right now, you might as well be jumping into a fucking pool if you touch my hands. And by the way, you're right, Ricky Bobby. Stacks was Rafael Devers over 1.5 bases.
Good call.
So
sorry, my bad. I didn't. Sorry, I don't have everything listed above the games. It's because I'm copying and pasting too fast. Wow, thank you, Ricky Bobby. Stacks play of the day. Let me pop it here again in the chat. Devers over 1.5 bases at +108 for that Boston Red Sox game. Thank you, Ricky, my man. Stacks, second time grandfather in the house. Devers over 1.5 bases. Stacks. Troy Torrance says this profile looks great in favor of the Rangers until you filter it down to a matchup between 2 teams that have sub-500 records. So Germán's look bad. I find it very difficult to believe he'll be any better now. And then Andrew Heaney coming off 4 earned runs, 2 jacks, 8 Ks, and 1 walk, and a 4-3 loss at home versus the Twins. It was a good matchup for him. This is not. The Pirates are hitting lefties much harder than the Twins are right now. 258, 741 OPS. Rangers versus righties, 247, 707 OPS. Andrew Heaney at home has been good. I don't know. I mean, of course, that full game went under, and I took the L on that first 5 because of the Santana shot. That was the only time Heaney was really in trouble because he was getting strikeouts. He's been able to get strikeouts this year. At home, he's 2-6, but 3.93 ERA, 198 opponent's batting average. Pirates bullpen 4.02 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. Rangers bullpen 4.58 ERA, 1.50 WHIP. And my dude has his max bet here on Heaney over.
I think he means just hits. Okay. He said he put it earlier. He said I really like over 4.5 hits.
Okay, over 4.5 hits. Thank you for because I was having trouble with that one. Let me get that over 4.5 hits.
Yeah, even money.
Okay, even money at plus 100. I mean, that's telling us that Heaney is capable of having a good start. Why wouldn't he bounce back? Okay. These are the spots that I really despise because I obviously have a bias after watching that 3-run home run that screwed me in a 1-1 game where I had the under 4.5 and I felt like I was in business. Let's go over this line history here. We have an 8.5. It's juiced to the under. This opened up at 8.5 at 7:44 a.m. At 8:18, it was an 8. Back up to 8.5, down to 8. Back up to 8.5. Right now, we've had 3 cents of movement to the over, but it's still juiced to the under. It's still a no vig situation if you want the over. Sharpie says Pirates versus lefties been easy money with K props for 3 straight years, striking out 33% of the time. Yet they jump up Bradford's K's yesterday and don't jump Heaney's up. Interesting. Oh, it's all good, my dude. No, don't even worry about it for a second. Wrong. Lofton on Texas team total under 3.5. So this is a spot where Domingo Germán, his life is on the line. And as much as I don't trust him, we've seen pitchers in this situation pitch well. Let's get to the cash flow here for this one. We have 20% of the tickets, 32% of the cash on the Pittsburgh Pirates, 68% of the tickets and 69% of cash on the over. That's a lot of tickets and cash on and under 32 and 31 for what we've been seeing lately. Mm-hmm. Jose Bouquett, take it away. The floor is yours. Pirates, Rangers.
Sharpie, I agree. We all know what Domingo Germán do with his life on the line. Yeah, I'm off this game. I probably lean under. 2 shitty teams that don't really, I'm sure, just want to finish out the season. Domingo Germán has all the motivation in the world to go out there and pitch well. His offense for the Rangers is not what it was last year, so I'm just staying off this game. Pretty easy pass for me.
Look, I'd love to fade Germán. I'd love to.
The Sharpie's K-prop thing also obviously has the red flags up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's just go over this money line market move one more time here because I can get off the over. I mean, clearly the under's juice. They're welcoming anybody who wants the over. And then you have the Rangers at minus 146. They open up minus 150. It opened up minus 161. This got down to minus 152 immediately. Okay, I'm off of it. It sucks. It sucks that I can't. Jerry Davis says Rangers and under parlay. Okay, look, this is as important as any few days of my entire career. That's how I feel right now. And yesterday was a good start, and I need to win today. If that means that I don't have action on those first 3 games, it is what it is. I've got action on this one. 3:45 p.m. Eastern, White Sox, Giants. I don't understand why 365 was being so slow to move this towards the under.
Yeah, this screamed under to me. I was just pussy and didn't take it.
I moved on to the first 504 at minus 120. And if you guys missed it off the top of the show, at the time it was minus 139 at Pinnacle. A 19-cent difference. So I bet it. Just a regular unit, too. I thought about going more onto it, but And then an hour and a half later, it had moved 4 more cents at Pinnacle. It was still minus 120 at 365. So, I don't know when they moved it, but they moved it now. But I was shocked. When I looked this morning, it was minus 153, the first 504 at Pinnacle. And minus 120 is a real nice price. Right now, look at this, Jose. The under 3.5 first 5 is minus 125 at Pinnacle.
Yeah, it makes sense. I was thinking about taking White Sox plus 0.5 as my first 5 under bet in this. I mean, we've talked about how on the White Sox, I think there's 2 guys you can back, 3 guys when Drew Thorpe's up there. Jonathan Cannon, Drew Thorpe, and Garrett Crochet on specific days. When he's listed at like plus 200, etc., I think those are the days you can back Crochet. When it's minus 125 White Sox, then you fade him. But I agree there. And yeah, Sharpie talking about something we've mentioned here. The White Sox are just desperately trying to get Crochet through a season, his first season of being a starter, healthy. Yeah, they don't want TJ. They want nothing because he's obviously their biggest trade piece. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if they traded him in the summer for the offseason. But yeah, I agree with you. Only 4 innings, 5 max for Crochet.
I don't know how you can trade him. I mean, can't you have don't you want somebody to come and watch your baseball games?
No.
Truth Teller liking this web to record a win. That's what Sharpie's talking about here. That's an interesting move. But I did slaughter this line move. Let's break it down here right now. From a money line standpoint, we have the Giants at minus 219. That took me a little bit by surprise. The market's not been leaning towards Webb in these starts, even though he's clearly pitching at an elite level, the best he has this year. Open up minus 225 for the Giants, now minus 219. So a slight
crazy.
Move.
By the way, Crochet outs 12.5 plus money to the over. Wow.
Also, the Giants are ticky-tack. If you look what they're doing, the lefties right now, they're hitting 262, but with just a 732 OPS. So it's just this offense doesn't scare me at all. The Giants offense, doesn't scare me at all. This total is at 7 at Pinnacle, and it got down to 6.5. It was 6.5 from 10:38 this morning until 24 minutes ago. And it is kind of a 6.5 still. It's minus 120 to the under. Destroying line moves like this, I mean, you just seen the public play before the public. It doesn't necessarily equate to cash, but it's a good feeling to have. 79% tickets, 78% cash on the over. 94% tickets, 94% cash on the Giants. Line's not moving towards them. Crochet's last start was really fascinating. 9 strikeouts in 4 innings. He allows 1 earned run. Turned out to be a 5-4 win at the Astros. Again, it's the best angle in all of sports gambling is a team with a 7+ winning streak switching cities. I was afraid just because the White Sox were involved, but I shouldn't have been. On the road, he has struggled a bit, 3.91 ERA, but 68 strikeouts in 53 innings, 205 opponents batting average. Logan Webb coming off just another spectacular start, 6-0 win at home versus the Braves. Really angered me that I wasn't on that one or the first 5 under. I mean, it's just 7-3, 2.26 ERA at home. He's only allowed 3 home runs in 83 and 2/3 innings. The White Sox are starting to hit righties, 251, 721 OPS since August 1st. Their bullpen's still horrific, 5.63 ERA, 1.72 whip. Giants bullpen, 2.60 ERA, 1.14 whip. So, and Truth Teller has Logan Webb to record the win at minus 105.
Wow.
And we have, that's Monica. No. We don't have enough time to set it up right now. So we're still in talks with Bet Online, but it looks like our first poker game will be Friday the 30th, unfortunately. Friday the 30th, unfortunately. We'll let you guys know before the end of the week, too. We're working with them on it. It's a new connect now. There's been changeover with who we're dealing with, so it's been a tricky thing putting together. And thank you for caring, Monica. It means a ton to us. And Sharpie says Diego Estrada is back today too, a lefty killer whom they need badly. Aubrey Travis looking at White Sox money line. So let's take a look at the cash flow again. 79, 78 on the over, just 6% of tickets, 6% of cash on the Giants. Jose Bouquett, take it away.
Yeah, I think the White Sox first 5 plus a half would be my move in this game. It's at minus 105. I'm not going to move on it though, just because, like Sharpie says, 4 innings of Crochet, and then you're leaving up to God and his hands, depending on who comes in. And I didn't want to move on this game either. Too juiced, but first 5 under, first 5 plus a half, and full game under all makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what that. I don't want the first 3 plus a half here because you need to have some hope of scoring runs, and I don't know if there is against Logan Webb right now, but I'd be curious to see what it is. The first 3 White Sox are just plus 135. Wow. I mean, obviously 365 gives terrible lines on this. So then the first 3 plus a half will be heavily minus 160. Wow. So a 0-0 after 3 really looks possible. That's how I start my card today. 3:45 p.m. I'm on the first 5 under 4.
Great move.
Let's roll on to the next spot. But that concludes afternoon action for us. So just looking at top spots, my dude best bet is Heaney over 4.5 hits at even money. Jose's on the Red Sox money line. Our guy A Richardson is on Boston team total over 3.5 for Anthony Richardson. And thank you, Anthony, for that dono. Thank you for blessing our action with it, my man. Then Professor Chris is on the Baltimore Orioles. Mally Mal's on Cole Irvin over 3.5 strikeouts. He's on the Nerfy in the Giants game. He's on Astros first 5 over 4.5. And we have the Baltimore and New York Mets first 5 under 4.5. Jake Berger over 1.5 total bases for Billy Friedrich. And Stacks play today, Devers over 1.5 bases. That is the action here. Let's roll on here to the next spot on the board. That concludes our afternoon action. 6:40 p.m. Eastern is our next spot, and we got Crystal Craig's play today on Jock Peterson, 1 or more hits. Aaron Judge, 1 or more hits. Parlay at plus 117 for Jock. Let's get into this one here. Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Jordan Montgomery versus Roddery Munoz. Roddery Munoz is a guy I want to fade. Sharpie says Monty going to shove, quality start incoming. This is the perfect spot for it. Montgomery's starting to look more and more comfortable. He did get touched up a little bit in the 6th inning of a meaningless game, a meaningless spot because they were way ahead, an 11-4 win at home versus the Rockies. They were up 6-0 before Tanner Gordon. Tanner Gordon didn't even get out of the 1st inning, and we'll talk about that spot shortly because it really wasn't Tanner Gordon's fault, and I expect Tanner Gordon to have a nice bounce back spot. Mally Mal says Sharpie called Monty's last game too. Good read, my guy. He certainly did. 8 strikeouts. I think the over was 4.5 or might have been 5.5, but 8 strikeouts. Sharpie cashed it. He gave it out here on the show. He also went 18 innings. 18 out, 6 innings. 4-2, 4.26 ERA on the road, 252 opponents batting average. He hasn't been bad on the road. Hasn't got his strikeout numbers on the road. 23 strikeouts, just 38 innings. And Roddery Munoz just looks bad. He just looks so hittable. 6.63 ERA, 20 walks, 28 strikeouts, and 36 2/3 at home. 282 opponents batting average. The Diamondbacks are raking righties. Marlins aren't hitting lefties. And Diamondbacks bullpen's been really strong. I mean, the Diamondbacks and Padres are playing elite baseball right now. And the Dodgers claim that they like it. That last 2 years they've had these huge leads and they've kind of gotten lackadaisical down the stretch. They like that they're forced to win games and they plan to do that. Daniel Hernandez, Danny Dog play of the day is Marlins money line. Marlins money line. Let's copy and paste that. And just before we hand it over to you, Jose, let's go through the line history for this one. This total is now at 9. It opened up at 8.5. It moved to 9 at 11:23 a.m. It's not the most legit line. It's plus 104 to the over and minus 117 to the under, but a half run move to the over. And then on the money line, let's get this in here. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Let's get the money line up here for this one. We have these Arizona Diamondbacks with Jordan Montgomery. Come on. Here we go. Sitting at minus 152. They opened up at minus 160. Or I'd already be on Arizona. Jose, I would already be on Arizona. I like the way they're playing a lot. And Chip Plylar in the house. Nice to see you, Chip. So I can't do that with that market. I just couldn't. I couldn't take him on the minus 1 line, which was my plan. You have 77% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the Diamondbacks, 71% of tickets, 69% cash on the over. If it was not moving towards the over, I would haven't. They're saying that Roddery Munoz is going to have a good start here. Jose, do you believe that's the case?
The Diamondbacks offense isn't that great, so sure, but I'm not paying to find out. Daniel Hernandez, by the way, Danny Dog play of the day is the Marlins. So shout out to you, Danny. He's been doing well on them so far. Yeah, I don't want to go up against the Diamondbacks here. I think they've been solid down the stretch, and Roddery, not the Marlins pitcher, I want it back. So another easy pass here for me.
Yeah, it wasn't easy for me, but It just doesn't correlate right for me. Truth Teller says Marlins 33-14-2 to the over as a home dog. That's the best over team in baseball. And Sharpie says if he doesn't back a prop, he's going to take the Marlins team total under 3.5. I feel you. I feel you there. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. The Minnesota Twins 70-56, 34-32 on the road. So let's get this up. Going up against the Padres here in this one. And it is the spot for our first play of the day, our first best bet from our guest star, that being the star of Medicate Mondays, also the star of our brand new show that starts in 10 days. 10 days away from our brand new show, the Tailgate, hosted by Daby Cab, a Tailgate which will lead into our live stream. And our first live stream is this Saturday, August 24th. We have Florida State and Georgia Tech will be capping that game here shortly. Please welcome to the show from Dallas, Texas, Dabra. Daby, how are you?
I couldn't be better, Jimmy. I love betting on anything, but the feeling I get knowing that college football starts this Saturday, it's unexplainable. It's like I'm ready to go to fucking war, man. I'm so excited.
A big season awaits, and you were excellent last year. We're all very excited to see what you do this season. Here we go. Twinkies Padres at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Daby, let's start with the weather. 75 Fahrenheit, 11.2 miles per hour to right field. Gets up to 12.7 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history for this Padres Twins spot. We have the Padres at minus 121. They opened up at minus 119. 2 cents of movement towards the San Diego Padres. And on the total, we have an 8.5 juice to the under. This got up to 9, and it was a somewhat legit 9, plus 102 to the over, minus 114 to the under. That was at 1:15 in the morning. Came back to 8.5, and then went down to 8. This was at 8 at a few different times this morning. Right now, we have an 8.5 minus 111 to the under, which is exactly where we opened. So no movement on the total. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with in the cash flow. We have 82% of tickets, 77% cash on the over. We have 28% of tickets and 64% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins. So maybe this is a spot where I will need to back Simeon Woods Richardson. That last start, a 4-3 win at the Rangers. He looked pretty good. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 K, 2 walks. There were some big, heavy fly ball and line drive outs. A couple spots where he could have been touched up and some nice plays in the outfield by the Rangers in that one. On the road, he's got a 4.27 ERA, 265 opponents batting average, only 38 strikeouts and 52 2/3 on the road. He's much higher strikeout rate at home. Going up against Matt Waldron, 7-10, 4.29 ERA, 1.19 whip. Coming off that loss in the thin air, Colorado is his second start in the thin air. Looked great in the first one, got touched up badly in the second one. 7 earned runs over 5 2/3, 4.52 ERA at home. He's allowed 9 home runs in 61 2/3 at home. Twins versus righties, 261, 759 OPS, almost very similar numbers to the Padres. These are all since August 1st, 265, 775. And Twins bullpen 4.30 ERA, 1.09 whip since August 1st, while Padres being excellent, 2.85, 1.19. Daby Cab, best bet number 1. Twinkies, Padres, take it away.
This is a situation with both of these pitchers that we talk about regularly at this time of year. Neither of them have ever pitched the amount of innings they've pitched right now. With Richardson, it's obviously not even close because the most innings he had in a big league year before were just 5 innings, so it's not even close for him. And right now he's sitting at 107 and 1/3 innings right now. And then Waldron, he's in the same boat. I mean, most innings for him, 41 and 1/3, and he's sitting at 138 and 1/3 innings right now. So both of these guys are maxed out. And this is the point where I would really pay attention to pitchers getting tired. I mean, if you look at Waldron, his last 2 starts, right? Colorado gave up 7 runs. It was in Colorado. Okay, let's give him a little bit of a break there. Go to the one before. Well, it's against Miami and Miami. We're not going to give you a break on that one, right? Gave up 5 runs against Miami. You jump back 4 starts ago, he gave up 5 runs against the Dodgers. 5 starts ago, he gave up 3 runs against Washington. He's just been trending in the wrong direction because he's getting fatigued. I genuinely think that that's what's happening here. Richardson hasn't been showing as many signs of fatigue, but it's still trending up, right? If you look at his numbers, they're still trending up. He's struggling getting through as many innings. I know he went 7 innings against Cleveland 2 games ago, but if you look 3 and 4 games ago, he only went 4 innings, 3 innings. He's struggling with it also. So all that being said, you got 2 pitchers that are deep into their inning count that they've never been at, and 2 teams that I trust at the plate. And this year, that's something you can't say with a lot of teams, right? You got the Padres, first in the league with the 265 batting average. Twins sitting at 252. Both teams are in the top 10 in on-base percentage. Both teams are in the top 10 in runs scored. Both teams are in the top 10 in slugging percentage. Basically, what I'm getting at is I like the over, Jimmy. Give me the first 5 over 4.5 here. That's where I'm at.
First 5 over 4.5. Did you tweet this out?
I did not know, so you can line shop.
We will line shop for you. First 5 over 4.5. I mean, Jose, this line is, or this market, Wager Detective in the house. Nice to see you, Wager Detective. Robert Franklin on the full game over 8.5. This line is leading me to want to bet the Minnesota Twins here.
It makes sense to me why you guys would be betting the Twins. I haven't moved on this game yet. Sharp action on the Twins. Line moving, actually the other way, according to my site here. I had opening up at minus 120. It's up to 22, so it's not like there's much movement. I agree with you guys. It's Twins for me. Fatigue factors are always interesting for me as well. It's funny, Cab and I have talked about Waldron a lot this year, and Cab has mentioned this several times. Waldron's not your traditional Tim Wakefield, R.A. Dickey knuckleballer in the sense that he can go out there, he can throw his knuckleball 70-something, and then he can give you a fastball at like 92 and throw pretty hard. So I think that fatigue factor is real. And again, with like normal knuckleballers, it wouldn't be because you're just throwing a knuckleball like 70 fucking miles an hour. You can throw forever, but I think that the fatigue factors are real for a year. So it'd be Twins or nothing here for me, but I have nothing on the game so far.
Why do you want nothing on the game? Why?
Maybe it's the COVID. It's the 2 cents of movement towards the Padres, a little worrisome as well. And I've liked Matt Waldron all year, and Woods Richardson's innings, like Cab mentioned, 107, and your last 2 years you combined 9 innings. Obviously injuries, I'm sure, but it's just worry. I don't want to back a pitcher with 100 plus more innings pitched than he's ever pitched in his career. When the last 2 years, I don't know this offhand, but I'm pretty sure he was injured in the last 2 years as well. So,
well, let's line shop. I'm interested in the Twins. Very interested in the Twins. Ron Crawford has the Twins in the dog spot as well. Let's get this over. First 5 over 4.5. Looks like the minus 115 at Heritage, minus 110 at Pinnacle. Over 4.5 at minus 110 for Dabra Cadabra. And I want the Twins. The against the sweep doesn't have anything to do with it for me. Maybe they're just saying this is a pretty even spot. Maybe that's it. BJ Max betting the New York Mets. Shout out to our guy BJ. That one, of course, is popping off here in 59 short minutes. 59 short minutes. Let's get that up here. Yeah, I want the Twins. But I would like to. I guess you look, if there's no movement and there's only 28% of the tickets on the Twins. I mean, it's still appealing. But I guess you'd like to see a 5 or 10 cent move towards the Twins. If there was a 10 cent move, or if there was an 8 cent move towards the Twins right now, would you be on the Twins, Jose?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, that is Twinkies Padres. We have another spot here for our guy Daby Cab. That's in the Brewers Cardinals game, and then he will be capping Georgia Tech game with us here. Bumaclot saying the Padres owner died yesterday.
I think that was last year. Was that not? Was that not the guy that he took on all that fucking debt for his team because he was about to die anyways, and he died last year? Bumclot. Maybe it's another investor. There's, we all
Maybe
know.
it's the 1 year anniversary.
No, it was last year. Peter Seidler. Yes, he died last year, November 14th.
I'll never forget him because he gave Xander Bogaerts just all the money in the world, and he knew I'm fucking gonna pay this shit. So respect to that man.
Yes. Let's watch the comments in the chat. You don't want to lead people in the wrong direction. Okay. So over 4.5 minus 110 for Daby Cab. And I'm very interested in the Twins. I'd like to revisit the market. Oh, anniversary. Okay. It's all good. I'd like to revisit the market near the end of the show. Daby Cab, we will see you again here shortly, my friend. Daby Cab on the first 5 over 4.5 in Twinkies Padres. We will see you soon, my man. Next up for us, I might have rushed into this bet, but I knew I wanted it. And I saw the market moving towards the under, and I just didn't want to be late. And this reminded me, well, I guess this is my own stuff, man. So let's roll here. Colorado Rockies at Washington Nationals. These Rockies 47 and 79, 18 and 46 on the road. Nationals 56 and 70, 28 and 33 at home. We're at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Let's get into the weather here. 75 Fahrenheit, 9.5 miles per hour in. It dies down to 6.4 miles per hour. Tanner Gordon, his last start, it opened with an error to get a runner on first. And then I forget exactly. There was runners on first and second. It was a walk and an error. And then there was a ball. It was hit pretty hard to the first baseman. He couldn't get to it. He missed it by a half inch. He missed it by the tiniest of margins. That went for a triple down the line. It was 2-0. And then there was another error by the Rockies. It was just a cavalcade of horrificness. He only made it through 2/3 of an inning because he was already at 50 pitches. And I guess that's the unwritten rule in MLB is you can't let a pitcher throw 50 pitches in the first inning. He was at like 47 or 48.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that 50 pitches in the first inning. I mean, 50 pitches in one inning is fucking ridiculous. But yeah,
they said that it was that they were talking about how Bud Black won't let him go 50 pitches, so he pulled him at like 47 or 48. And I got I didn't know that. I mean, hopefully you don't get a chance to work with those situations too often. Tanner Gordon is being really good, and he looked okay for the kid having everything that could go wrong behind him. And look, I know it's impossible to prove that with 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 3 in runs. It's impossible. But
this is the advantage of watching the games.
We'll see. Look, I don't know.
Okay.
But I also watched Mitchell Parker, and he had been unbelievably good until he went to Philadelphia and got lit up by that team that was hitting 350. That's hitting 353 in August against lefties. And 3 innings, 9 earned runs. I mean, he got lit up and smoked, but he's been so good at home. There's Elio in the house. Our guy Top Set. Great to see you, man.
The buck knife.
Clark Edge says Nats team total under 4.5 at minus 130, and Truth Tellers on Mitchell Park over 17.5 outs. So you can tell what I'm doing. I wanted to be on the under in the Cabrera Erod start yesterday, but I just didn't have the confidence. I'm not doing well, but here I had the confidence. I'm on the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 105. I expect big bounce back starts from both of these pitchers. And if you just look at their numbers in total on a season long, nobody would ever want to be involved in an under with these two teams. There's these two pitchers. Dolo in the house. Great to see you. So let's go over the line history here. This opened up at 6 p.m. yesterday at Pinnacle with the over 4.5 was minus 118 to the over and plus 103 to the under. So, heavily juiced to the over at that point. We have 73% of tickets, 71% of cash on the over. But now this has gone to mine. Now it's juiced to the under. So we've had 11 cents of movement from plus 103 to minus 108 on the first 5 under 4.5. And I planned on being on this bet yesterday, but I wasn't going to do it if the market wasn't going to give me confidence in it. And it has now. So these are the only 2 bets. I got that Giants under. I destroyed that line move. I don't think I destroyed this line move. I got minus 105 at Pinnacle. It was 2 cents better than what it was at. Sorry, let me go back to it. It was 2 cents better than what it was at Pinnacle. And now sorry. God damn. Sorry. Let me just see what it is exactly right now. The first 5 under 4.5 right now it's still at minus 105. It hasn't moved there. It's minus 108 now at Pinnacle. So let's get into the money line here and then hand it over to Jose. From a money line standpoint, we have the Nats at minus 148. They opened up at minus 161. That's a legit 13-cent move away from them. There's been a 12-cent move towards Colorado. That's telling me that Tanner Gordon's going to have a good start. A shout out to Razor Sharp Picks live at Delaware Park today. Anybody in the area, go roll with our guy Razor. And my dude's other max bet, Jackson Merrill over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs minus 135. I will copy and paste that. Top set same game parlay is at Nats and the team total under 4.5. So I'm on the first 5 under 4.5 minus 105. Jose Bouquett, take it away. By the way, Rockies versus lefties 264, nice average, but just 703 OPS, very little power. And Nats versus righties 266, 757. They've been pretty good. Rockies bullpen struggling, 5.55 ERA, 1.56 WHIP. Nats bullpens look very good, 3.02 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. Take it away here for us, Jose. Rockies, Nats.
Yeah, I think I lean under with you, and I expect a bounce back from Tanner Gordon. But the issue is, like, what does a Tanner Gordon bounce back look like? 5 innings, 2 earned runs, something like that. I don't know. So I stayed off this game. Honestly, this whole breakdown, I was just thinking about how the Nats are going to be a bet-on team next year. They've been one of my favorite teams to bet this year. They've got the pitching staff, and they finally starting to call up some of their bats, James Wood, etc. So next year, the Nats are going to be a fun bet-on team, but no action here for me so far.
All right, so that concludes my pre-show action. I do have some interest in adding the Minnesota Twins, but that concludes my pre-show action. Let's roll here into our next spot, that being the Cleveland Guardians of the New York Mets. We're in Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Joey Cantillo, we saw his first start. This is a journey, 16th round pick, not a very highly thought of prospect. He looked good. He's multiple pitches. He's a lefty. It was a 4-2 loss at the Twins. The Twins were not hitting lefties. They're not hitting lefties. I should have been on that first 5 under. He went up against Ober shoved. So his overall season numbers aren't very good, but he looked good in that last start. Going up against Nestor Cortez, 6-10, 4.2. I mean, he's only thrown 13 big league innings, but Nestor Cortez coming off a great start at the White Sox. The White Sox are just not hitting lefties at all. So he went 7 strong, 9 strikeouts, no walks. He's been good at home all year, 3.05 ERA. 68 strikeouts over 73 and 2/3, just 10 walks. But the Guardians are hitting lefties, 257, 802 OPS since August 1st, and the Yankees aren't. 216, 724 OPS, and the Guardians bullpen looking strong. The Yankees bullpen, it just doesn't have enough depth, doesn't have the depth that the Guardians bullpen has. But good God, if you watch the extra innings, the 10th inning and the 11th inning was as good as baseball gets. Let's take a look at the weather here in the Bronx. 71 Fahrenheit, 11.2 miles per hour to right field. That's down to 8.5. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Line history-wise, we have Cortez and the Yankees at minus 187. They opened up at minus 157. 30 cents of line movement towards the Yankees. Wow. Just a monstrous move towards the Yankees. Waiting for this total to come up on my screen. I don't know why it's taking so long here. While that's happening, let's take a look at the cash. A huge move towards the Yankees. 85% of the tickets, just 62% of the cash. There's bigger bets coming in on the Guardians, 15 and 38. That's wild. 93% of tickets, but 83% of cash on the over 8.5. And my market moves on the total are slow, so Jose can hook us up. Jose, take it away for us here. Guardians, Yankees.
Yeah, this is going to be a rare spot for me. I think the Yankees beat the shit out of the Guardians today. The Yankees played one of their worst games of the year last night. It's funny you saying that baseball can't get any better. The Yankees played like shit last night. Errors, infield hits, miscues, fucking throwing it away from your relievers on pickoffs, and they had 14 walks last night. They gave up 14 walks allowed. That's the most since 1993 for the Yankees. Shout out to Joe J. Hay for the tweet. I think the Yankees bounce back after, again, one of the worst games of the year, and they just kicked the shit out of the Guardians today. Am I confident enough to bet it? No, because I don't like taking run lines. I'm 1-7 taking run lines this year. I think it's hard enough to win a bet by 1 run, let alone 2. So I'm off, but I really think this is a Yankees spot written all over it. Again, one of the worst, played games by the Yankees all year. I'm sure Aaron Boone, if he's any kind of fucking good manager, he'll have the boys going today. He'll show the replays, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I just think the Guardians kind of got lucky yesterday when the Yankees had one of the worst games they played in a long, long time. So Yankees for me, but I'm not moving on anything.
Yeah, we also watched 2 different halves of the game.
I didn't watch a second of the game. I just watched the highlight. Yeah,
the Yankees defense in extra innings and the Guardians defense in extra innings is elite. Gets like how hard it is with no out and a runner on second to go, through 2 full innings without a run being scored. They're 2 very good baseball teams.
Jimmy, if you'll excuse me, I think I'm going to go throw up now. So I'll be back here in about 2 minutes-ish.
Excellent. Clearly, Cortez and the Yankees should be back here. I don't want them at this number. I don't want to fade the Guardians ever. They're such a elite ball club defensively. Tops at Yankees and Cleveland, team total over 2.5 at plus 220. Truth Teller leaning to the Guardians at this price. Yeah, I'm off Guardians, Yankees, and watching, the Yankees fall apart late and knowing the bullpen issues for the Yankees, I don't have more. The market would give me confidence betting the Yankees, nothing else. Let's move on to 7:07 p.m. Eastern. We have the Cincinnati Reds. Oh, let me get this set up here. Move over to the Cincinnati Reds, Toronto Blue Jays. Daby Cab wanting to jump back in here, so let's get you up here. Daby Cab. We have Reds, Blue Jays, and your friend Slick Nick Martinez on the hill. 3.25 ERA, 1.05 WHIP. On the road, he's been so good this year. It's unbelievable. It actually is. It's hard to believe. 3-2 with a 1.71 ERA. K to walk ratio 33-3. He's allowed just 3 home runs in 42 innings with a 163 opponent's batting average. Going up against Yariel Rodriguez here. Rodriguez 1-5, 3.93 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. 55 innings, 57 Ks, 27 walks, 7 home runs. His last start, 6-5 loss to the Cubs. He didn't look very good. 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 homers, 5 Ks, and 2 walks. But he's being good at home. 2.49 ERA, 209 opponent's batting average. He's only allowed 3 jacks over 25 1/3. Reds versus righties since August 1st, just 238, 713. Jays are hitting 253, 766 OPS. Will Wagner hitting cleanup, not a traditional cleanup hitter, but they're trying to find anybody who's hot to go up to bat after Vladdy. 3.93 ERA for the Reds, 1.15 WHIP. Jays bullpen, 3.75 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. We have 69 Fahrenheit. They're closing the roof now at night. I mean, it's not always going to be that way, but I expect the roof to be closed tonight. The wind's 11.2 miles per hour and coming in. I expect the roof to be closed. I don't have confirmation on that. And look at DC Capper going up against that market move. Respect. Best bet Cleveland plus 164. Wow. Jerry Davis said, damn, I hate to fade Martinez, but this is a Toronto spot. So let's take a look at the line history here for this one and the cash flow. Line history wise, we have these Cincinnati Reds sitting at minus 104 on each side. There has been a 3 cents of movement to the Reds, just 3 cents of movement. This had got up to minus 111 at 2:42 a.m., but now it's just 3 cents of movement. And then on the on the total, come on, why is this taking so long? While that's happening, I don't know, maybe I got too many things open. On the total, for cash-wise, we have 90% of the tickets, 87% of the cash, a huge amount on this over, and it's juiced to the under at 8.5. So market not, they're opening up their arms to anybody who wants the over. There's been 14 cents of movement towards the under, which tells us that Nick and Yariel are going to pitch well. We also have 38% of tickets and 52% of the cash on the Cincinnati Reds. Daby Cab, why don't you get us started here? Slick Nick Martinez, Yariel Rodriguez, 90% of tickets, 87% cash on the over, and yet this is moving towards the under. What are your thoughts here?
I sat up here and bashed Martinez, but I kind of gave him his flowers out of the bullpen, and then he threw a gem against Kansas City. That was who I was up here last game. All that being said, I was still kicking myself because I took the over in that game. Obviously, didn't cash. I liked Kansas City at plus money. I liked Bobby Witt's props. Bobby Witt hit a bomb off Martinez. Kansas City would have covered the first 5 in plus money. So I know Martinez threw good, but the fade would have worked if I would have just made the right bets. This is the same situation here. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to look towards Vladdy's total bases here. Martinez is just one of those guys, right? He's mid-90s. He's got decent off speed, and he's just flat. That's why I always talk so bad about him. He's just flat. And for a power hitter like somebody like Bobby Witt or somebody like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., it's easy to get loft on the ball. It's easy to get the right launch angle on somebody like Martinez. And with this line where it is, especially with how well Martinez has been pitching, I don't see how you don't look at this and think it's a trap trying to get you to bet on the Reds. I would probably be looking at the Blue Jays.
I was an ass kicking the Jays handed the Reds yesterday. Jose Bouquet, Reds, Jays.
Yeah, I think I lean under, and I think I'll make that an official play. It is funny to hear Cab talking nicely, somewhat, about Nick Martinez. The way you talked about him, Daby, I thought he went like 7 shutout, and I looked and I was like, oh, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. That's kind of meh.
That's still good for him.
Good. Yeah. I just thought the way you were talking at first, I thought, oh, he went shutout, and then but you just talked nice about him. I was shocked to hear it, but yeah, under for me. The market kind of saying under. I think that Nick Martinez can hold his shit together for a little bit. And the thing that I'm obviously worried about is bullpen. So we'll see how those bullpens go down. But I expect another like 6 innings, 3-2 earned run performance from Nick Martinez. I've been one of the very few Yariel Rodriguez guys still. So under here for me.
What is the state of the bullpens right now? Is there any reason to be concerned here?
So Blue Jays bullpen, only guys that threw yesterday were Tommy Nance and Zach Pop.
Yeah, they're good.
Everyone else had the day off yesterday, so should be good on that front there. But it's obviously still 2 bad bullpens. And yesterday for the Reds, only Jakob Younis threw, so should be good on that end as well. So relatively rested bullpens. Under here for me.
Jose on the under 8.5. I like it. I would like to join you on this under.
By the way, I got it at minus 115.
Under minus 115 here for Jose. Joseph Gomez says, why not go under first 5? It's just been working for him to focus on the full games.
Yeah, exactly. I look at full game line movements, so I bet full game is kind of my I guess I don't know. Never mind. COVID.
Let's roll into the next spot on the board for us. 7:20 p.m. Eastern. We've heard from DC Capper. Bookie Buster play today is on these Atlanta Braves. Philadelphia Phillies at Atlanta Braves. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Braves need to win. They're 7 games over 500 at home. They are 9 games over 500 overall. And the Phillies now just 2 games over 500 on the road. Aaron Nola coming off that great start at home versus the Nationals. Let's start with this total. This total is a 7.5. Wow, 7.5. Opened up at 8.5. We've gone down the full run here. Opened up at 6 p.m. at 8.5. Didn't get to 8 until 4.5 hours later. So it wasn't just this quick move, but a full run move to the under. On the money line here, we have the Phillies at minus 106. They opened up at plus 106. So we have dog to favorite situation here. For the Braves have gone from minus 115 down to minus 102. So dog to favorite situation here for the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's take a look at the cash flow. Cash flow wise, 39% of tickets and 87% of cash on the Philadelphia Phillies. 86% tickets, 82% cash on the over. This market is moving me towards these Philadelphia Phillies. I mean, that's a pretty easy thing to decipher here. Aaron Nolan, 11-6, 3.45 ERA, 1.16 WHIP. Last start great against the Nats. On the road, he's been okay this year. Not quite as good as he has been at home. 261 opponents batting average, 3.80 ERA. Max Fried, on the other hand, coming off a 6-0 loss of the Giants. The Giants are hitting lefties, with a high average, not a ton of power, but hitting them pretty well. And he got touched up a little bit, 3 runs over 5 1/3. At home, he has struggled, 4.27 ERA, 290 opponents batting average. Now, he's only allowed 3 jacks and 46 1/3. But the Phillies are just raking lefties, 353, 938 OPS. Braves versus righties, 253, 765 OPS. Both bullpens have struggled, 4.91 ERA, 1.43 WHIP for the Phillies, 4.96, 1.45 for the Braves. Jose Bouquett, take it away here. Braves, Phillies.
Yeah, the line moving towards the Braves is obviously interesting.
Is it moving towards the Braves? Because I have that 10-cent move towards the Phillies. Is Bet Online doing something completely different?
Yeah, I had a minus 111 opener for the Braves, and it's moving to the Phillies. So yeah, I misspoke there.
Okay,
Sorry.
no worries.
Minus 111. Yeah, now it's minus 107 Phillies. It's interesting. I don't know. I just find this game to be really tough. Obviously, yesterday's game was much more easier, just because it felt like a trap line. Was made it so cheap to bet the Phillies against Reynaldo, and he pitched well. I'm kind of expecting the same thing today, but the issue is obviously that the Phillies smash lefties. So Max Fried coming in here will be very interesting to see how he does. I'm going to look up Max Fried's outings against the Phillies right now, but I think if I had to make a one bet on this game, it'd probably just stick to just betting the full game under and let a playoff atmosphere, like someone else said in the chat, take over there. By the way, Fried's last appearances against the Phillies, I'll give you his last 3: 6 innings, 11 hits, 5 earned. He only went 2/3 of an inning and in one start this year. I assume he got hurt, obviously. And then last year, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Interesting note about those 3 games, all of them went over 6-8, 12-4, 7-6. But yeah, I just think that the Phillies are probably just too good against lefties for me to move on them. Or excuse me, yeah, against lefties for me to move on the Braves here. So it'd be Phillies or pass, and I'm passing here. Nice job, Razor.
Yeah, great work, Razor. Sharp picks, cashing that exacta. DC Capper says Atlanta Braves will win, and Truth Teller says this is a trap. It's funny because I understand why Fried and the Braves at home would be a slight favorite over the Phillies. I don't think this line was set up in any way, wrong. So I like the Phillies here. Let's hear what Daby Cab has to say. Phillies, Braves.
I mean, with the numbers my dude just dropped, and again, I didn't look these numbers up, my dude, so we're trusting that you got the right numbers. Realmuto, 16 for 42, which is 381 batting average and 4 homers. Castellanos, 11 for 18, which is a 611 batting average with 1 homer. Turner, 7 for 43, which is a 395 batting average with 3 homers. These numbers are fucking outrageous, right? With this many hitters. Harper, 10 for 33 with 303 batting average and 3 homers. Like you said, take your pick. Those numbers are outrageous. I like the over. I don't mean to go directly against Jose in this, but I like the over in this, especially if the Phillies are going to get to Fried, I think Nola gives up a couple. It's just who I think Nola is. He's the type of guy that I trust to give me up, 2 to 4 runs and give me a quality start, or maybe just below a quality start. I like the over here, and I might make that official, the first 5 over.
Truth Teller, can you add to your thoughts on this being a trap? Because I think this line was set up appropriately. I mean, it should have been opened up as a pick'em.
I thought yesterday was a trap because I thought the Phillies should have been more favored against the Braves. I know it was on the road, but it's still Zach Wheeler against Reynaldo Lopez coming off the IL for his first start. So I thought that line was going to be like minus 150, opened up minus 130. Here, I thought this was just an even line too, honestly. I thought this was like minus 110, something like that. So the line moving to the Phillies is interesting. And I respect all you guys tracking this line movement and betting the Phillies off of that.
I'll take the first 5 over 4 with the best line you can get me. I'm seeing like a minus 115 to minus 112. I haven't tweeted it out, so I'll take that first 5 over 4.
Shout out to Joey Marinaccio, by the way, here as well. Daby Cab POD, Pepe over 15.5 outs. Shout out to you, Mr. Marinaccio there. And shout out to Paul Taylor, the Sailor. Nice. Who just got settled in Vegas. Hope you have a good weekend, my guy. Sounds like a great time.
Paul Taylor, the Sailor in Las Vegas. Man, respect. I love it. The over 4, we can get you at minus 112. That's the best one here. Do you have better at your books?
No, that's actually the best I've got also.
Okay, so Cab is on the first 5 over 4, minus 112. I'm interested what True Teller is going to... Oh, just a feeling. Okay. Andre McCool, if there's any more kind of a gibberish there, we'll bounce you. So please don't spam. And Sabino and Guano in the house. We love you, Sabino. And there's Yenny in the house. Great to see you guys. Sancho ready to rock here.
Shout out to you, Sabino.
True Teller says, I would think the Phillies start at minus 130. Yeah, I get it. No, I mean that's legit. And DC Capper says, don't take the Phillies. Take Atlanta Braves to win. Strong play.
I think it's going to be electric when Sabino and Guano makes his coming out of retirement to stay out of retirement bet. That's going to be electric.
We need it. We need him. I'm happy to see him in the chat, man. Very happy to see him in the chat.
All right. The Phillies team total over also, if I'm being honest. I just don't.
Yeah, Yenny Toon in the house, man. You're right, Mally Mal. It's great to see him. In top set saying the line should be Phillies minus 135. Why? The Phillies are 2 games over 500 on the road against a pitcher who's been the Braves. But I mean,
that's something to remember when it comes to postseason time. Bet the Phillies at home inside the cauldron, and then when on the road, fade their ass.
Fried's 3.62 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. I mean, he's barely has worse numbers than Nola. Look, you guys, we'll see. And look, DC Capper confident on it. I'm going to get to the Phillies. Fried, because of Fried's numbers versus the Phillies.
I was pretty surprised to see those numbers as well. When you mentioned just batting average wise, Cab, Castellanos 500, 6 for 12. Johan Rojas hits 400. The shortstop hits 371.
Who?
JT Real Muto 342. I mean, it's just crazy to see some of those numbers.
Insane. And the fact that you're getting a 3.5 on a team total with that's, and it's not just average. There's home runs, but every one of those guys with that high of an average some of them have multiple home runs against Fried too. I mean, You're talking about 2-run homers and you hit that team total. I don't. Shit,
yeah, no. If I had to play one player prop today, it'd be JT Real Muto. 3 home runs against him, 42 plate appearances, 342 average. So yeah, I agree.
Okay, well, I've added a few question marks. I'll take another look after the show here. We'll see. We'll bang it out. Next up for us, Daby Cab best bet time Milwaukee Brewers at St. Louis Cardinals. These Brewers 73-52, 35-28 on the road at the Cardinals, 61-64, 32-30 at home at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Tobias Myers going up against Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson has been getting rocked of late. And Tobias Myers, what makes him special is his ability to get righties out.
Before we go on, Jim, BJ's asking about the market again for last game. Could you just touch on it real quick again?
On the Phillies game.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. We've had a movement wise. Let me go to the full game here for you guys.
While you do that, Jimmy, I will just mention that the Baseball World Classic just announced their dates. I cannot wait. Venezuela's group is already out. It's going to be in Miami. I will be there once again. And God damn it, I want fucking revenge more than anything I've ever wanted in this earth. Let Venezuela play the U.S. again, please. Continue.
There's been a full run move to the under 8.5 to 7.5 on the total. And on the money line, we have the Phillies right now at minus 107. They opened up at plus 106. So there was a 4-cent move while we were talking about it. It's come back 3 cents. So it actually moved to minus 110 and then to minus 107. But right now there's been 13 cents of movement towards the Philadelphia Phillies with 39% of the tickets and 87% of the cash. We'll see. 86% tickets, 84% cash on the over in this one. So Philly Eagle Flyer says $50 dono if Jose will say his name.
Go fuck yourself, Billy Eagle Flyer.
Oh, okay.
How about that? How about that?
Let's roll on. So Tobias Myers, righties are hitting 192 with a 571 OPS off of him. So we know what the Cardinals are going to do. They're going to fill their lineup with lefty bats. They're going to need Mason Wynn, Nolan Arenado, Willie Contreras, and Paul Goldschmidt are the 4 righties. The rest, who knows if they'll all be in the lineup. So the important bats, though, Contreras, Arenado, and Goldschmidt are righties. That bodes well for Tobias Myers. He's coming off a nice start at home versus the Dodgers. He shut down the Dodgers, shut them down well. Rob Freon, Simeon over 1.5 bases at plus 130. DC Capper leaning towards the Brewers. We cashed with them yesterday. 5 2/3, 8 hits, 2 earned runs Myers had against the Dodgers. He's been great this year. 2.81 ERA, 1.11 whip. On the road, 2.57 ERA, 233 points batting average. He's been great. Kyle Gibson's been getting lit up and smoked. Last start, 7 runs, 6 of which were earned and 9-2 loss at the Reds. At home, he's got a 4.73 ERA and opponents are hitting 301 against him. Only 5 home runs he's allowed over 59 innings, but he's been getting hit. And the Brewers are smashing righties, 254, 806 OPS. Cards is 225, 650. Brewers bullpen is a 3 ERA and a 1 whip since August 1st. Cardinals bullpen, 3.96 ERA, 1.20 whip. So at this point, looking up and down, you see the Brewers with a statistical advantage in every single facet of the game. And their line opened up at minus 103, and it's just minus 103 right now. That is a surprise. We'll take a look and see what the cash flow. Maybe there's a lot of people back in the Cardinals here at home. This total opened up at 8 at Bet Online. Let's see what it opened up at Pinnacle. This opened up at 8 as well. Dropped down to 7.5. Went back to 8 a couple times, but right now it's at 7.5. It's a legit 7.5. A pick 'em each side. So the market's telling us that Kyle Gibson's going to have a good start, as surprising as that is. 44% of the tickets and 87% of cash on the Milwaukee Brewers. Line's not moving towards them. 90% of tickets, 86% cash on the over, and line's moving towards the under. This is a pretty tricky spot. Best bet time for Daby Cab. Take it away, Brewers, Cardinals.
I've been staring at this game wondering what the fuck is going on for hours now. Thinking the same thing you're saying. I guess the books think Gibson's going to have a good start. Honestly, I've been trying to decide if I wanted to even go official with the bet that I have in this game or not, but I'm going to do it. I mean, you touched on how Gibson's getting smoked his last few starts. Let's look at his last 3 starts. He's 0-1 with the 6.11 ERA, or 6.11 ERA, a 1.36 WHIP, only 19 strikeouts in 17 and 2/3 innings, so that's not so bad. But yeah, like you said, 6.11 WHIP in his last 3 starts. He's just been getting hit hard. And this is a Brewers team that has, 82 at bats. Like the players they have in their lineup, they have 82 at bats against him, 19 hits in those 82 at bats, 4 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs. So they hit him a little. It's only like a 232 average, so it's nothing crazy, but they have shown a little bit of power. And you've got a few people in the lineup like Adams, who's hitting 385 against him. And he's got 13 at bats, so that's a big enough sample size. And then you got other people like Contreras, who's only hitting 125 off of him. But I think that's obviously due for positive regression here in this game. I don't know how the books are going to sit here and tell us that Gibson's going to pitch well when he's showing that he's floundering right now. And he's never been somebody that's been electric, right? He's always just been good or decent, I guess the word can be. So I took the Brewers team total here. I have a fishy feeling that maybe the Brewers find a way to lose this game. But 3.5 going against Gibson, especially when I'm getting all 27 outs, it's just something I can't pass. So I got the Brewers team total over 3.5.
Brewers team total over 3. I mean, it's just such a fishy line. Like, I get why that would look appealing, but look what the Brewers are doing. I can understand why you'd want to hammer that. Jose Bouquett, Brewers, Cardinals. Cab on the Brewers team total over 3.5. What was the juice?
Minus 119.
Okay, Jose Bouquett, floor is yours.
Yeah, I find this to be another difficult game. Not hard to parse between these two teams, though. I am selfishly rooting for the Brewers to win today and tomorrow, and then they'll be on an 8-game winning streak going to Oakland. So I just ended up staying off because of that. Really, it's a hot Brewers team. I kind of like Gibby as well, but I lean Brewers and Tobias Myers. He's been a low key back pitcher for me as well, but I'm not moving on it.
And Troy said he just missed his top spot. It is the Phillies. I'm astonished by this line. It's implying that Gibson is going to shove here. So then that first 5 under would be the spot. But I don't want to. Ron Crawford says this line stinks. By the way,
saying the Cardinals should be bigger favorites, or
no, the opposite.
No.
Okay, that's what I was confused about. So sorry, Dab. Don't yell at me. It's the COVID.
Don't make dumb comments.
So it's the COVID talking.
So we have Troy Torrance coming in on the Phillies and Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet dog play of the day. Now it's a favorite, but it was a dog when he bet it. Spreadsheet dog play of the day is the Philadelphia Phillies from our Ron Crawford. Yeah, I'm going to stay off of this spot, but I'm telling you, I like Tobias Myers. I thought this was a perfect lineup for him. The toughest bats to get out are righties. I mean, this is the spot you want Tobias Myers. They're implying that Kyle Gibson's going to have a good start. Zachary Bruner saying, what about the Nerfy?
When's the last time you bet a Nerfy, Jimmy?
Game I went to live, Jay's game last year.
Funny you said that, because I was thinking the only way I'd bet some shit like that is if I was going to the game.
Yeah, I was at the game. It's the Nerfy had the first 3 under. I was a problem. I was screaming 18 outs. I was just being I was so drunk. It was just
you.
Okay. Yes.
You should have been with Jose and me when we went to the Rangers and the Rockies game. People were real confused when I started running up and down the stands when the Rockies got their 4th run and they were still down by 10.
Yeah, it was quite funny. It was like literally like 8-4. And Cab like, yeah, running up the stairs, and then we have our whole section just looking at us like, what the fuck?
I had that at a hockey game. I remember the Sabres Flames. I'm on the over 5.5. So it's the Sabres score the first 2 goals. I'm losing my mind. Then the Flames score, and I lose my mind. And that was it. Nobody wanted anything to do with me at that point. They thought it was just
Yeah,
so
no,
stupid.
agreed. When everyone looked at Cab run up the stairs, they're like, "What the fuck?" They looked disgusted, but we were cashing, and it was great.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Cabby on the Brewers team total over 3.5. I'm gonna have to stay off the spot. But I imagine I know what's going to happen. Kyle Gibson's going to have a good start, which doesn't mean that the 3.5 is off the table. But
he's going to give up 3 and 6. 3 runs in 6 innings. It's a good start. Not quite quality, but it's good. And then Brewers will get 1 more, and they'll win the game 4-3. It'll go under. That move was sharp towards the under. Everything was sharp. Everyone was right. Gibson pitched well. The game went under, and I got my team total, baby.
Everyone was right.
Justin McKelvey says that Stacks was the Rockies team total that day. Aubrey Travis says, if I'd lean on total, yeah, I would take the under. The under.
That feels like so fucking long ago, Justin. I cannot believe you remember that you had Stacks on the Rockies that day. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'd be on the under. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be involved now. This market's got me off of it. Daby Cab, Brewers team total over 3.5. He's on the first 5 over 4 in Phillies Atlanta, and he gets his card started with the first 5 over 4.5 in Twinkies Padres, and he will be coming back to Cap College football with us here shortly. Daby Cab, thank you, my man. Go get that cash, and we will see you at the end of MLB.
Hell yeah.
Right.
By the way, so Daby feels better. We've seen that full game line move for Florida State, Georgia Tech, just steaming towards Georgia Tech. First half is still 6.5. So I like where everyone is at in that game. It's gonna be very interesting.
It's gonna be a fun one. Everybody on the opposite sides for the live stream. Let's roll on to 8:05 p.m. Eastern with the Detroit Tigers 61, 65, 30, and 33 on the road. The Cubs 62 and 64, 35 and 28 at home at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's go into the weather in Chicago for this one. We have 69 Fahrenheit, 7.5 miles per hour in, dies down to 6.1 miles per hour. Kenta Maeda and Jamison Tyon. Let's get into the line history. Kenta Maeda coming off of his best performance in a long time. He didn't start, but he came in and he looked good. This total is at 7.5 here at Pinnacle. It opened up at 8, dropped to 7.5. It opened up. This line didn't come out till 9:20 a.m. because it is Maeda, okay? Because they didn't know if Maeda would start or if there was going to be an opener. This moved to 7.5 pretty quickly in less than an hour. Got right back up to 8 about 30 minutes later, and that lasted for a minute. Then it was at 7.5, and it stayed at 7.5.
Wow, I just realized that the Cubs are up into second place now. That's hilarious. I hope Billy Friedrich is all right, wherever you are, Billy.
He just doesn't want them to make the playoffs. He's in business. We have the Cubbies at minus 148. They opened up at minus 157. 8-cent move to the Tigers. The Tigers are live. Jerry Davis says he thinks Brisky is opening. Let me see.
Yeah, I thought this line was, or this opening starting situation was weird on ESPN. They didn't even have the right Cubs starter. And then on the books, it had listed Tyon and Maeda, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was Brisky.
Maeda's listed at the books right now, so I expect Maeda to start. Maeda here coming off 1 hit, 5 Ks, and a 2-1 win at home over the Mariners, but on the road this year. I mean, I don't know whether we should believe these numbers or not. 35 and 2/3 innings. He's a 9.59 ERA. He's allowed 9 home runs, and opponents are hitting 336 off of him. Jamison Tyon, if you look at his last 5 starts, the 2 home starts, excellent. 3 road starts, awful. Coming off allowing 4 runs over 6 innings, 6-1 loss at the Guardians. But at home, he's 5-3 with a 2.56 ERA, 242 opponents batting average. Tigers versus righties just 239, 662. Cubs versus righties 229, 703. And both bullpens have been very good. Tigers 2.99 ERA, 0.95 whip. Can you touch on the freshness of the Tigers bullpen? Because it's been getting milked. And the Cubbies bullpen 2.83 ERA, 1.10 whip. Jose Bouquett, take it away. Tigers, Cubs.
No action again for me here. It's funny to me that, the Cubs have made this little charge, and then we had yesterday people asking about what are the Cubs playoff odds, et cetera, et cetera. So Cubs fans are definitely feeling a little better. But I don't want to move on this game. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Tigers won this game, honestly. So no action here for me. I honestly think this should be closer to like minus 120-ish for the Cubs. I just think it's just a little bit too juice. So it'd be Tigers or nothing for me.
95% of tickets, 93% of cash on the over. 23 and 65 on the Tigers. Yes, the Tigers are live.
Isn't it crazy? This is an 8.
Or now 7.5.
Yeah, this feels like it should fly over just based off Kenta and Tyone's been fine, but mostly Kenta. And you just said it. He's coming off a really good start. I'd probably lean under just based off that, truthfully, but it feels like this game should fly over.
I think this under is very live. I think the under is very live. I mean, the market at 95 on the over. I mean, these two pitchers that, Tyon, if you have a vividness bias, he's be getting screwed.
Yenny, that's a bold statement to say that the Tigers are the better team. Bold.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. DC,
I agree, though. Lean under. Tyon's a decent enough pitcher, and Kenta has been pitching well.
Can you give me the Tigers bullpen situation?
Sure. Tigers bullpen yesterday, they threw Shelby Miller and Faedo. Both those guys threw, the only guys that throw. Faedo threw 35. So he should not be available today. So that leaves Will Vest, Brennan Hannafy, or the aforementioned Bo Brisky, Jason Foley, and Tyler Holton.
I like Holton. Can Maeda finish the year strong? Okay, I'm interested in the under 7.5 here in this one. Let's roll on 8:10 p.m. Eastern and the pig milk play of the day in play here with the Angels and Johnny Cueto. That is a surprise.
I thought it'd be in an island here, Jimmy. I'm right there with him. I'm right there with pig milk. Give me the fucking Angels today and give me old man Johnny Cueto.
So he couldn't break in with the Texas Rangers. 5.92 ERA at AAA. They DFA him. He comes to Salt Lake City, the Angels AAA affiliate, and he has 4 good starts, 3.09 ERA, 1.39 WHIP. I'm astonished that you guys are buying in on Cueto and his shimmy shake. I'm shocked. Why?
Oh yeah, I'm in. I believe in him. Let's go to the market first, and that will be the real illuminator, honestly. Minus 190 opener for the Kansas City Royals, down to minus 164 with, as you can probably expect, 81% of the bets, 85% of the money on the on the Royals. I think Johnny Cueto is fresh. And I've been pretty consistent about this. Give me the fresh veteran, sure. Give me the fresh pitchers late in the season, all day, every day. As I can speak, I can feel myself getting dizzier and dizzier. Maybe this is the bet. Maybe it's the lack of medicine I've been taking. Who knows? But Johnny Cueto does the damn thing. Full game money line for me here.
Wow. I mean, I get the market move, but the Royals are hitting 308.53 OPS first righty since August 1st. They're raking.
He's going to do some old man shit. He's going to do the shimmy shake and put these young pitchers to bed. He's going to give them some titty. He's just going to tuck them into bed, give them some titty, squirt it out a little bit, and put them to sleep real nice and proper.
79 Fahrenheit, 10.1 miles per hour in, right to left, but in, dies down to 8 miles per hour. Jose talking about the market move. Let's review it at Pinnacle. Royals at minus 161.
Troy, also, I would appreciate if you make fun of this bet so I can feel better about my bet. So 30 you do whatever you want, Troy, but it would make me feel better.
A monstrous 30-cent move. You're absolutely right. Just a huge, huge move. The total is at 9, though, which is interesting. This opened up at 9, got up to 9.5, back to 9. There's 4 cents of movement on the over on a high total. So it's not like they think that there's low volatility. They think the volatility is elevated. Then you have 77% tickets, 81% cash on the over, just 19 and 15 on the Angels. I can't
Maybe
do it.
this is the COVID talking. Michael Lorenzen, former Angel. Was he an Angel last
Oh
year?
yeah, of
They
course.
traded him
Not
away?
last year. But he was an Angel before he signed with the Tigers. So he signed in the offseason last year with the Tigers on that 1 year, 11 milli.
Okay.
Go back 2 years, he was with the Angels. Wow. So Lorenzen, 3.3 ERA, 1.28 WHIP, coming off a nice start at the Reds. All right, I will cheer you on. I will stay off. We had the Dapper Capper give us the Pepio spot. So what was it exactly? I didn't get it copied and pasted. Was it Pepio to win?
Yeah, I think it was 14 and a half outs, but yeah, it's 15 and a half outs, Ryan Pepio. Shout out to you, Dapper Cap.
And Dapper Capper, and what did he get over
Minus 130?
Pepio over 15 and a half outs, minus 130. Hell of a ball game last night here at Oakland. And
felt like an ascot not being on the under.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It was, I didn't make any, I loved Estes. So why didn't I think that it was, my concern was sort of around Boz, but I shouldn't have had that concern with Pete taking him over 16 and a half outs.
Yeah, I should have been on it as well. Like I said, I talked about how Joey Estes was pitching with a heavy heart last time, and I think he'd pitch a lot better this time. So yeah, it makes sense. And
I love Ryan Pepio, and I like Mitch Spence. Mitch Spence, who's coming off a terrible start at the Mets. Now, they came back and won that game, but he only went 2 2/3, allowed 5 earned runs. At home, he's been good. 3.86 ERA, 268 opponents batting average. He's only allowed 5 home runs, just 5 home runs off of in 16 2/3 innings. And the Rays aren't hitting at all. 221, 628 OPS since August 1st. Now, the A's down to 232, 676. And this Rays bullpen is absolutely elite. So you have Pepio. He doesn't allow an earned run against the Diamondbacks at home. Now he's on the road here, but he's been good on the road all year. 3.60 ERA, 216 points batting average. So we just saw a game with no runs. I mean, well, 1 run, but do we go right back to it? 65 Fahrenheit, 9.4 miles per hour to right field, dies down to 8 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history. Ron Crawford on the under 7.5 here. This total opened up at 7.5. It moved to 7 3 different times. Right now, we have 14 cents of movement on the under 7.5. But we just saw a game very similar with no runs being scored. I wish that wasn't the case, but, you know. We have Spence and the A's at plus 114. They opened up at plus 118. So very, very slight move towards Pepio and the Tampa Bay Rays. And shout out to our guy, Ole E in the house. When we get to the cash flow, we have 72% of tickets, 65% of cash on the Rays. We have 79% of tickets and 70% of cash on the over. Jerry Davis says he's all over Pepio in Tampa Bay. Take it away for us here, Jose. Rays, A's.
Off game for me. I don't love betting unders. The day after like a 1-0 or whatever, just feels like the offenses should bring their shit together. With this game, I do kind of like both these pitchers. Mitch Spence is not bad, and Pepio obviously is not bad either. So I think I'll just stay off this game. Like I said, the main thing that's keeping me off betting an under here would probably just be watching the domination from yesterday and just expecting it to happen again here. So off game for me, but it makes sense if anyone here is taking the under. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Can you go over both bullpen situations here? I know that they were used yesterday. What is the situation?
Yeah, so the Rays actually, shockingly enough, only threw one guy yesterday, Edwin Ucha. I can't still say his name still, but everyone else ready to go. I do see that it seems like Pete Fairbanks is on the IL though. Obviously closer, so big deal there. But and yesterday for the A's, only Michael Orden. I can't even say this guy's name. He only threw 7 pitches yesterday, so he should be good here as well. So full and rested bullpens for both squads.
Huh. Yeah, I think this game goes under again.
Yeah, and Mason Miller didn't throw yesterday as well. Obviously, he's the big reliever you'd want.
Minus 120, even better than that, Troy. I got a 4 at minus 120.
Razor 2 for 2 cashing. Shout out to you, Razor. Keep it up. I love to see it.
Attaboy, Razor. Yeah, it was wild, Troy. At the time, Pinnacle was 19 cents more expensive. And then I went back an hour and a half later, and it was still available to bet at minus 120. And Pinnacle then moved it to minus 143. And it was still available to bet. I was logged in. It was still right there available. It hadn't changed a cent. Okay, the under 7.5 here. I'm very interested in. I'm going to forget about what happened yesterday. All right, let's move on to the final MLB spot on the board. The Seattle Mariners at the LA Dodgers. This was hugely rewarding financially. First 3 and first 5.
Yeah, congratulations on that, because Jimmy, I care about your action, obviously. The first thing in my COVID stupor was I knew you bet the Mariners. I needed to check to see how you did, and I saw the Mariners lost the game. I was like, oh, fuck. And then I looked at your record, and I was pleased to see that.
It was enormously helpful. And some bounces went my way yesterday for the first time in a long time, and I was expecting it. You can't just be shit on, nonstop day in, day out. It's going to change, and I expect it to continue to change. But Teoscar Hernandez, in the bottom of the 5th, missed a home run by a foot, and I thought it was gone. He thought it was gone, so I was like, okay. And it was foul by a foot.
You already were like, fuck.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't acting that way yesterday. I wasn't defeatist.
Good. That's a start.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's a start.
Well, yeah, but I said that to say that I'm glad that you cashed their Mariners bets, but the Mariners are my number one do not bet team this year for the rest of the season. Like, I just cannot do the offense. The offense is just so bad. But yeah.
Let's talk about this spot. By the way, Wager Detective now on the over 8.5 in Orioles Mets starting in 1 minute.
Good luck, Wager.
Minute. Nice to have Yanni Toon back in business with us. Top set on the Dodgers and the team total under 5.5 at plus 200. And Jerry Davis said threaded the needle last night. Seattle first 3 and first 5, then Dodgers full game saved my night.
That's good.
Let's
shit right there.
here. I could have live bet the Dodgers, and I probably should have, but
securing the winning day, I'm sure, was very important there.
It was. I can't. All right, let's go. Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles, California. Let's get into the weather to get us started here. Our final game before we get into the college football and then WNBA with Billy Brisbane. We have Mariners Dodgers 77 Fahrenheit, 7.5 miles per hour to right field. It dies down to 6.1 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this one. This total is an 8 at Penny. We're sitting at an 8. That we do see a lot of 7.5s on the board. This opened up at 7.5. It went up to 8 at 3:30 in the morning. It stayed there until 9:15 in the morning. Back to 7.5, and it just went to 8. No, it didn't. It went to 8 just under an hour ago. But I see a lot of 7.5s on the board. Pinnacle not being one of them. This is a half-run move towards the over with Gilbert and Flaherty. Let's get into the money line here for this one. We have the Dodgers at minus 175. They open up at minus 160. 15 cents of movement towards the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Logan Gilbert going up against Jack Flaherty. Paul Taylor, the Sailor, cashed Mariners first 5 yesterday, but felt dirty doing it. And my dude, as his 5th play of the day is Freeman, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Let's copy and paste that. Saturated. I'm excited, man. It's I'm so excited. Football is king in the sports gambling world, and there's a lot of money to make. Everybody's just so pumped up about it. It's been a long summer, and baseball's not being good to me, but there's still time to turn that around. Let's get back to work here. So Logan Gilbert, 7-9, 2.96 ERA. He's been the one pitcher who has succeeded on the road. Now, his last start, I backed him, lost the first 5 under by a half run, lost the full game under by a half run in the Skeens Gilbert start. 6 1/3, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, 2 walks. I expected him to pitch better than that against the Pirates lineup that wasn't really hitting. And then Sharpie's already told us that he expects Flaherty to get 10 plus strikeouts against this lineup. There's Kent Davies in the house. Great to see you, Kent Davies. says, need some help from PSR to get my Cappers Contest Survivor League entries. Let us know, Kent. We can help you, my man. Make sure you have an account. That's the first thing. You need to have an account, but it's pretty easy.
And obviously email pubsportsradio@gmail.com. Swig will respond, I'm sure, and help you out as well, Kent.
So Jack Flaherty's not looked good in the last 2 starts. He looked good in his first start as a Dodger. He hasn't looked good in his last 2. He went 5 innings. He's got 7 Ks and 2 walks over 5 innings, 3 runs, and a 6-4 loss at the Brewers. The Mariners aren't hitting 214, 695 OPS versus righties. Dodgers aren't hitting that hard. 249, 764 OPS. Okay, Kent. Yeah, send an email and we'll get Swiggy to figure that out. Mariners bullpen's falling apart. 5.36 ERA, 1.52 WHIP since August 1st, while Dodgers bullpen rolling 3.14 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. Let's go, Jose Bouquet. Let's take one last look at the action here for this one. 92% of tickets, 89% of cash on the over. It's gone up a half run. 86% of tickets, 97% cash on the Dodgers. Take it away, Jose. Gilbert, Flaherty, Mariners, Dodgers.
Yeah, I just cannot. If I'm betting a Mariners game, it's under, and that's it. like I said earlier in the show, Jerry DiPoto came out and basically called this season a giant failure, called out, offensively, they've not been good enough. Coaches, general managers, etc., just all of it bad. Scott Service hopefully gets fired at the end of this year. Jerry DiPoto is actually a pretty good general manager, so he'll stay. But I just am so out on the Seattle Mariners squad. They're wasting one of the best collective starting rotation seasons of all time with all these great pitchers, and they're fucking wasting it. So I'm out on the Seattle Mariners. I don't really like Jack Flaherty. I kind of jumped off the train last year. So maybe the Mariners can muster up some offense here for an over, but no action.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to watch it really closely. I'm going to watch Flaherty really closely. He's screwed me in his last couple starts, and I want to just watch him. And if Sharpie says he's going to shove, well, then he's very likely going to shove. Drewski on Seattle, first 5 money line. I guess I'm going to stay off that spot. I had found it appealing. Let's roll.
Ron Crawford, I agree with you. Seattle, no heart, no gall, no balls. They will not come back in any game they come down to. So, no. And that noise was my dog, Justin McKelvey. That was my dog making a weird noise.
Let's review all action here. Justin McKelvey, stacks play today. Devers over 1.5 bases at plus 108. Crystal Craig is on Jock Peterson and Aaron Judge. A hit from each. Parlayed together at plus 117. Billy Friedrich, Big Milk play today. Jose and Billy riding with Johnny Cueto and the Angels. Billy Friedrich, Baltimore, New York Mets, first 5 under 4.5, and Berger over 1.5 bases, and Phillies money line. Troy Torrance, Phillies money line 2 units. I don't think it's a fishy line. I don't. Maybe that was going to haunt me. Ron Crawford also on Philadelphia. That's the dog play of the day. Crystal Craig play day number 2 over 8.5 in Diamondbacks Marlins. The Clark Edge play days under 8.5 in Texas Pittsburgh. Mally Mal on Cole Irvin over 3.5 Ks on the Nerfy in the Giants game. Astros first 5 over 4.5. 9 Legacy. Blue Jays money line run line parlay of the day is Orioles, Pirates, Red Sox, Marlins, Twins. Then BJ's best bet is these New York Mets. That game is off and rolling. Let's see what's going on in it. Sorry, get over to live. We have a runner on first in the bottom of the first for the Metropolitans. 0-0. Live total 8.5. Mets with a runner on first and no out. Minus 190. Wonder if Cole Irvin is going to get touched. Then we have Professor Chris on the Orioles in that one. But let's focus on games that are coming up. Jose gets his card started with the Boston Red Sox at plus 119. Anthony Richardson's on Boston, team total over 3.5. Good luck to both of you guys. Thank you, Anthony Richardson, for the dono, and Nate Dogg for the dono as well. Then my dude's play of the day to get started is Heaney over 4.5 hits in Tigers Rangers. I murked the White Sox Giants first 5 underline. If this was NHL, I'd want to figure out a way to middle or something, because when I destroy NHL totals, my ROI is negative. But I've beaten this enormously. I got the first 5 under 4 at -120. Then Daniel Hernandez, Danny Dog play today, which is 6-1, is on the Marlins money line. Hugh Janus is ready to get to work in college football and
Not
NFL.
Hugh Janus. Hugh Janus.
It depends how you want to pronounce it.
I'm going to call him Hugh Janus. So shout out to you, Hugh Janus.
That's how he wants you to pronounce it.
So, yeah.
My dude's next best bet, Jackson Merrill over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Daby Cab on the first 5 over 4.5, and I expect to move on the Minnesota Twins here when the show's over. I'm on the first 5 under 4 at -105 in Colorado, Washington. I can understand why I would be alone on the spot. DC Capper's best bets, Cleveland plus 164. We've seen this monstrous line move towards the New York Yankees. I'm not on it. Jose's on the under 8.5 in Reds Blue Jays. I'm going to join him, want to join him. The first 5 over 4 for Daby Cab in Phillies Braves. My dude's on Real Moto over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Castellanos over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And I'm going to be on the Phillies. And I don't like going up against DC Capper at all, but the dog the favorite. I don't feel anything fishy about it, and I'm going to move on it. Daby Cab closed off his card with the Brewers team total over 3.5. Then I want the under 7.5 in Detroit, Chicago. Detroit just has no offense whatsoever. Good pitching staff. We'll see how it bangs out. Angels Royals was shocked to hear, and Jose will go over all his action, but I was shocked to hear Jose on the Angels. We know that the Pig Milk play days on the Angels. DC Capper's on Pepio over 15.5 out. So I like the under 7.5 again in Rays A's. It's not the way I would like to finish off the night, but it's the way I expect to on this one. There you go. That is our MLB. Jose, can you review your action? Make sure that everything's locked.
Yeah, sure. And by the way, shout out to Troy, Kent, and Saturated. Going to have a nice little watch party for the Bears. I'm actually excited about the Bears this year, too. I might have to join you guys. That sounds like a lovely time. Schiller's Park? I mean, come on. Who doesn't love old Schiller's? But my action officially for you guys today, only 3 bets, it seems. Red Sox money line plus 119. The under 8.5 minus 115 in Cincinnati, Toronto, and Angels full game money line plus 150. I might not have written something down, but I guess that's it, huh? I thought I had more action today, honestly. But 3 plays is all right with me.
Well, I just hope to God I'm wearing this shirt tomorrow.
I hope so too. I don't know, like at what point do I not want you to wear that shirt? Like if you go like 20 days in a row, would I start feeling bad? I don't know. It'd be really fun to watch. So I'd like to see all that.
Mally Mal says 2 strikeouts for Cole in the first inning. He's on the over 3.5. Nice job there.
Oh, Kent Davies lives right by O'Hare. I mean, come on.
Kent's the man. Kent is the man. Thank you for the kind words, BJ, my man. That is our MLB breakdowns for Wednesday, August 21st. It is time to get into college football.
Yes.
Jose, rest up, my friend. Stay backstage, rest up, and come back and join us when we close up shop.
Of course. I'll quickly give you guys my college football takes. Fucking trust Daby Cab here. He's been cashing. He rips his shirt off during streams. And I was going to say tonight, but it's not Saturday. Saturday night. Actually, it's a Saturday morning, actually. Dublin, Georgia Tech, Florida State to the fucking house in the first half. Shout out to you guys.
It is time to talk the opening game in college football, and our expert was over 60% last year against the spread. My first weekly capper to break the 60% mark. We have one doing it in MLB right now, but in 7 years, this was the first man to do it. It was college football. He's ready to rock. He will be hosting our live stream at 11:45 Saturday morning for this very football game. Please welcome Daby Cab to the show. Daby, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. It doesn't get better than this. We are only a couple days away from kickoff, man. And like I always say, betting college football there's nothing like it. It's a rush. It's fun. We make a lot of money. We're going to get paid this season, Jimmy.
Let's get to work, my friend. Let's begin by talking about the lines and the action that we have from our cappers already. Dutch Boy Fresh is on Georgia Tech plus 11.5. He says line continues to drop. Anything more than 10 is good money. Wine Time Sports bet this a few weeks ago at plus 13. Also on the under 57 at minus 120. Kong's Clips is on Florida State first half minus 6.5. And Billy Friedrich says this is a dead over. Dead over. It says both teams won't be able to stop each other, and he thinks that Florida State covers. Let's get into the line history here. We'll be using BetOnline line movements. If you're looking to open up a new account for new accounts at BetOnline, we have a great bonus on our website, 100% bonus up to $1,000. Has to be a new account, and it doesn't have to be Bitcoin. You go to our website and hit our link and use the promo code PUBSPORTS. Let's get into this spot line history and cash flow. Set the table up for the man who hit over 60% last season. Florida State, Georgia Tech gets the 2024 college football season rolling. BetOnline is hanging a minus 10.5 at minus 107. This opened up at minus 12.5. This was back on April 16th. It took till May 22nd for this to move 10 cents in Florida State's direction. During the end of May, this got up to minus 14. That was the high watermark. That was May 27th, 14. Since then, it's been going in the other direction. It's been going towards Georgia Tech, who are now 10.5 point dogs. We have 2 points of movement towards Georgia Tech. Now, there's been a lot of talk about, yes, the full game is moving towards Tech, but the first half isn't. Let's corroborate that information here. We have BetOnline hanging Florida State first half minus 6.5 at minus 105. It opened. The first half was not available to be bet at BetOnline until the 5th of August. It opened up minus 6.5, minus 120 to Florida State. With 4 days later, it moved to 7, minus 105. Since then, it's come back that half point. So we've had 15 cents of movement towards Georgia Tech, but it has stayed at that number 6.5. Let's get into the total for this one. We have had lower scoring games over in Dublin. The average score about 48.5 points per game over there. This total is at 55 at BetOnline. 55 juice to the over. This opened up at 55.5. This started moving. Now the total became available at BetOnline on July 8th. It got up to 56 on August 4th. And then we've had this move towards the under. The low water point, 54.5, was 3 days ago at 4:26 p.m. We're now at a 55 juiced to the over. That is the line history of this one. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. From a cash flow perspective, our first game of the 2024 season, Florida State, Georgia Tech. Get into all markets. And we're getting no information. Is that real? Actions taken off. Wow. Are we going to get no information on this? Unbelievable. 19,053 tickets in, and they're not giving me any information. We'll see. I'll see if that changes. I thought they were giving us information on this. I'm getting no information on the cash flow. We're going to have to work without it. All right. Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland, 62 Fahrenheit at kickoff, partly cloudy, 16 mile per hour wind. So it is windy. And Wine Time is saying, yes, no information yet. Very strange. Robert Franklin already on Georgia Tech plus 11.5. Last year's ACC champions and the favorite right now at plus 275 to win the ACC yet again. The Florida State Seminoles bringing DJ Uiagalelei from Oregon in his final year of eligibility. DJU. They also bring over Malik Benson and Roydell Williams coming over from Alabama. In 2023, the Seminoles offense, 23rd in the nation in scoring. They hope that that improves this season. Expectations are very high in Norvell's 5th season as head coach. They have a strong offensive line to protect DJU, but they did lose their top playmakers from last year. Georgia Tech comes in off a 7-win season. Head coach Brent Key's first season as head coach was a success. It was a success. Transferring over from Texas A&M, we had dual threat junior quarterback Haynes King, expected to take a big step forward this year. Last year, he threw for 2,842 yards, 27 touchdowns, 16 picks. He also ran 108 times for 648 yards and 9 touchdowns. Their top receiver, Eric Singleton Jr. and Malik Rutherford both return. Singleton Jr. was very good last year, caught 48 passes for 714 yards, 6 touchdowns. Rutherford caught 46 passes for 502 yards and 4 touchdowns. Their 1,000-yard rusher, junior Jamal Haynes, returns. Last season, FSU was very strong against the pass, 16th in the nation against the pass, but they were 61st against the run. So there's an idea that King and Haynes are going to be running a lot and going to attack FSU on the ground. Georgia Tech's new defensive coordinator, 36-year-old Tyler Santucci, coming off 1 season at Duke in 2023. That was a top-ranked scoring defense. They allowed 19 points per game. That was 16th nationally. Prior to his lone season at Duke, I know that Daby Cab knows him well because he spent 3 seasons at Texas A&M, linebackers coach for all 3 seasons, and he was co-defensive coordinator in that final year in 2022 for the Aggies, and that was a very good defense. That was the number 1 pass defense in the nation and the top 25 scoring defense. Santucci, if you go way back, was a Stony Brook linebacker from 2006 to 2009. They returned their leading tackler, Kyle Efford, and they have strong additions through the transfer portal. Last year, and what I'm sure Santucci is going to be focusing on, was they allowed 6 yards per carry on defense. They got gashed on the ground. That was the second worst among all Power 5 schools. 2 points of movement towards the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, a slight move towards the under. Daby Cab, take it away.
I get it. I get it. I understand the love for Georgia Tech. You've got something coming back on offense, right? You've got a quarterback, you've got a running back, you've got receivers, right? You've got returning production. And my biggest question right now, looking at Florida State, is who are they, right? Are they the team that went 13-0, won the ACC championship, and then lost 63-3 to Georgia with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder? Or are they a new team, right? We have 10 guys that went to the NFL draft. Are these new eyes, new hearts, new legs? And I think the answer, Jimmy, falls a little bit in between the two, honestly, because the people that are returning for Florida State aren't the guys that get a lot of love, right? It's the big guys. It's in the trenches. And I love the trenches. If you've listened to me cap college football, one of the main things I look at is the trenches. I want to see how people are going to do. So we got DJU, Uyunglele coming in, right? The transfer from Oregon State. He was at Clemson before that. He let a lot of people down at Clemson, and I think he's kind of had a little bit of a bad taste in people's mouths since then. But the dude is 30-10. He's got a lot of experience in college football. He's got 30 wins already. He's got over 8,000 yards passing. I mean, he's got experience, so it's not like he's a fish out here, right? But the main thing, the number 1 goal for Florida State is going to be, can they get him comfortable, right? And what I think that looks like is about 57 to 60%. Running the ball and only about 40% throwing the ball in this first game. The good news for Florida State is they return 91% of their offensive line snaps on the offensive line. So when I talk about the trenches, you got a lot of guys returning. You got guys like Darius Washington, Maurice Smith. You've got a lot of experience on this line. So can they get DJ comfortable back there behind center? I think they can, especially because you alluded to this Georgia Tech team. They couldn't stop the run for anything last year, right? They were giving up almost 6 yards a carry. Just not good. So let's look a little bit at this defense. How will this Yellow Jackets defense hold up? You touched on the first-year defensive coordinator for them, Santucci. I watched him, like you said, and I figure he's going to come out with the 4-2-5 scheme for the most part. It's what we're used to with them. But I look at Tech's front 7. I get it. They have a lot of transfers, and a lot of people are high on the transfers. They even have 3 of their transfers on the defensive line coming out of Power 4. But not one. I'm going to say this again. Not one of these guys grades out as above average preseason, above average rusher. Not one. Not one of the transfers does, not one of the guys they have. So they still don't have a single guy that grades out above average when it comes to rushing. So I think they're going to have some holes there. On offense is where Georgia Tech is comfortable, though, right? You got King coming back, threw a lot of touchdowns, led the ACC, if I'm not mistaken, in touchdowns, but he also led the ACC in interceptions. And one thing that's not talked about at Florida State is the defensive line, the changes that they've made in this defensive line. They're going to be after Haynes King, and they are going to be after him aggressively. His ability to get outside of the pocket and make things happen is going to be the difference in this game, which he is capable of doing. So I do understand why people are on Georgia Tech, but he's also capable of making mistakes and throwing interceptions. And if he does that, if he makes even a couple mistakes in this game, I think Florida State doesn't only cover, I think they blow Georgia Tech out. All that being said, I'm going to stick with the first half here. I got Florida State in the first half, -6.5. I think they come out, they control the tempo, right? They're going to push Georgia Tech off the ball. And I said it, you talk to the big nasties, you talk to those linemen, they're the ones who, as your coach, you're saying, this game's on you, guys. We're going to win this in the trenches or we're going to lose it in the trenches. If you get DJ comfortable in the backfield, we will win this football game and we will win it by margin. If not, we're going to lose. And those guys are going to come out ready to go. I like Florida State first half here.
Florida State first half. A lot of talk here in the chat about this total. How much will Florida State be running the ball? We know that Georgia Tech will run the ball a lot. We know their Achilles heel on defense last year was run defense, which we imagine then Florida State will be running the ball. If there's all of this running, will that lead towards an under? Were you close to moving on anything in regards to the total?
I've gone back and forth with this total because of the fact that I am leaning Florida State full game. I bet them first half. Florida State is going to slow the tempo of this game down. Like I said, I think it's going to be 60% run. So I guess I would go under if I bet the total on this one. But for me, it's just to stay away here. Yeah, I stay away from the total. I'd look under, but I'm staying away.
From a live betting standpoint, do you feel like you're going to be making the assumptions on Santucci's defense from watching it?
Absolutely. And what I want to happen, doesn't mean it will, but what I want to happen is I want Florida State to cover that first half, be up by 7, maybe 10 points. And then I'm going to look at Georgia Tech live. I absolutely understand why people are high on Georgia Tech. I mean, just look at some of what they've done the last 2 years, right? If you've been betting on Georgia Tech as a dog, last year they went 6-2 as a dog covering the spread. 2 years ago, they went 6-3 as a dog covering the spread. That's 12 times as a dog they've covered their spread in the last 2 years. That's the most in college football. So I understand. I get it. And I'll look to Georgia Tech live also, but that'll be after I get my cash from the first half.
You are locked in. Florida State first half -6.5. For everybody watching, Cabby, tell them a little bit about what they are going to see this Saturday at 11:45 a.m. Eastern.
Oh, man. Like we just touched on, it's going to be live betting. It's going to be laughs. We're going to have fun. Obviously, we're going to be serious because we're live betting, but I'm going to definitely crack a few cold ones. We're going to have a few drinks. We're going to get into it. If you haven't tuned into any of these live shows, you're missing out because we have an absolute blast. There's going to be a lot of great cappers on screen. A lot of them are on Georgia Tech. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't want to tune into somebody who's giving Florida State all the love, don't worry. I might be the only person on screen on Florida State. So there will be a lot of back and forth also. Muted.
Daby Cab trying to deliver like he did last year, over 60% against the spread. First weekly capper to do that. First half, Florida State -6.5. What was the juice you got on the Florida State first half -6.5?
-115.
-115. Locked and loaded here. I love it. Daby, thank you for your time. Please support Daby on X at Daby Cab. And of course, every Monday, starting alongside Dutch Boy Fresh in Medicate Mondays. And not this Saturday, but once we get to next Saturday, so we are a little bit away from the debut of our new Saturday morning show, The Tailgate, hosted by Daby Cab. There'll be a bunch of cappers rolling, breaking down their looks for the Giant Saturday cards. So I love it, Daby. Thank you for your time, my friend. Good luck today, and we will see you in action here tomorrow, my friend.
Hell yeah. Let's get paid. Shout out to everybody in chat, man. I love doing with this, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
There he is, Dabra Dabra. We go from college football and we head over to the WNBA. We got 2 spots on today's WNBA card, and we have just the man to deliver the cash to us. Coming off a big night in the Contender Series, which was followed by, of course, the Locker Room podcast. Please welcome from South Jersey, our friend, Mr. Billy Brisbane. Brizzy, how are you, my man?
Doing good. Rookie mistake. I need to grab this iPhone charger. Give me 2 seconds.
No problem. I can set up this game as well and get us started here. Let's roll. Ron Crawford, thank you for rocking with us. And no, Saturated, I have not. I will copy and paste that comment, and I will figure out what it is that I have been missing here. Let's roll. We have 7:30 p.m. Eastern action between the Phoenix Mercury and the Atlanta Dream. The Mercury 15-13, 6-9 on the road at the Atlanta Dream, 9-17, 5-8 at home. We're at Gateway Center in College Park, Georgia. Mercury are 2-1 since the break, coming off a dominant 86-68 win at home over the Chicago Sky on Sunday. And Atlanta is coming off the break playing their best basketball. Opened the post break with a home 83-81 win over a good Storm team. That was on Friday night. They followed that up with an 82-70 win at home over the Sun on Sunday. They beat 2 good teams. Justin McKelvey backing his Atlanta Dream +2. Let's get into the line history here and hand it over to our guy, Brizzy. Let's roll. Here we go. We're going to be using BetOnline market moves as they have the big old balls to get to the market first. Phoenix at -3. They opened up at -1.5. We have a 1.5 point move towards the Phoenix Mercury. On the total, we have a 165.5 -115 to the over. This opened at 163.5. Last night at 9:45, it got up to 166. That was the high water mark. It's now 165.5. So we have a 1.5 point move towards the Mercury. We have a 2 point move towards the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if it correlates with all of that. We have 60% of the tickets and 78% of the cash on the Phoenix Mercury, not believing in what they've seen from the Dream's first 2 games. Both have been at home. Another home game here. We have 43% of tickets and 98% of the cash on the over. Big bet has come in on the over. Justin McKelvey also on the Dream over 81.5 team total on Charles double-double. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Game 1 of a 2-game slate, Mercury Dream.
Yeah, just to move the program quicker. I'm just gonna read off what I read up for my premium last night. These 2 teams first met in the first week of the season. The Mercury won 88-85 after blowing a fourth quarter lead. It's an interesting matchup because this is the first half of the 2-game homestand with Phoenix and Atlanta. Atlanta looked completely different since the break, winning back-to-back games versus Seattle and Connecticut. Seattle just got Gabby Williams, by the way, on a side note. Atlanta, that they've looked way completely different. But there are some things to poke at their performances versus Seattle. They allowed 28 points off of turnovers and only 13 team assists. And then when they played Connecticut, they got out-rebounded 40-34, but they did a better job of sharing the ball with 18 assists. Atlanta's starting to look more like the team from years past, but they always kind of play to their level of competition. These teams will probably split these next 2 games, but Phoenix has a 9-3 ATS record versus a losing team, and that stat seems a little bit skewed. They're not the same team on the road as they are at home. They've gone 4-1 to the over in their last 5 road games. Their defense on the road is a concern. They don't play as well. They go on 1-4 ATS in their last 5 versus the Eastern Conference. The Dream have had their bad performances at home. They're 3-9 in their last 12 home games, but they've been 7-0-1 ATS in their last 8 games versus a team with a winning record. 4-0-1 versus the last 5 versus the West. They've been a good home under team, so 9-2 towards the under in their last 11 games, following a ATS win and 8-1 towards the under in their last 9 in Atlanta. Mercury are 2-6 in their last 8 meetings. Their lone 2 wins reversed the Sky, a team that I'm not really too high on, and they're 0-4 in their last 4 trips to Atlanta. So give me Atlanta plus 2.5. Bet it last night at Caesars Sportsbook.
The Dream plus 2.5 for Brizzy. I'm sure that is music to Justin McKelvey's ears. He's all over the Dream here this
I'm a
evening.
Mercury fan. That hurts my heart to say it. That hurts my heart to say it. I think they lay a dud here tonight.
Locked and loaded. Let's roll into game 2, 9:30 p.m. Eastern with the Minnesota Lynx, 19-8, 7-5 on the road. The Las Vegas Aces, 17-9, 9-6 at home. Home being Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Ron Crawford giving us his play of the day, and it is the Minnesota Lynx plus 5.5. Ron Crawford locking in on the Lynx play of the day, WNBA style. Correlates nicely with our guy Justin McKelvey's action for this one. Let's start with the total in Minnesota Vegas. We're sitting at a 167. That's where it opened. It got up to 167.5. It's been down to 166, but it's right back from whence. Let's get into the spread here. We have Minnesota plus 7 in this spot. Huge move towards the Aces. This opened yesterday afternoon at 2:05 p.m. at 4. Within 10 minutes, it was 5. 11 minutes after that, it was 5.5. Then we had to wait till 8 hours after that for it to get to 6. Now we are at 7. It is a 3-point move on BetOnline. So no movement on the total, a big move on the side. With this move, with this non-move on the total is interesting because 77% of the tickets and 95% of the cash are on the under. On the spread, we have 26% of tickets, but just 2% of the cash on the Minnesota Lynx. Wow. 2% of the cash on the Minnesota Lynx. Lynx beat up on the Mystics in the home and home to start off post-break action. Last one coming out Washington, 99-83 on Saturday night. Aces bounced back from that 79-67 loss at home to Liberty to open up post-break action by beating the Sparks badly, 87-71 at home on Sunday. Brizzy, game number 2, Lynx Aces, take it away.
Yeah, from like an actual like viewing perspective, this game will be entertaining. But from like a betting perspective, the Lynx were able to secure the win in the first meeting versus the Aces early on in the season. That was a blowout win, 100-86. Since the break, I mean, the Lynx have been kind of continuing their winning ways, back-to-back wins versus the Mystics, but I don't really rate that those two wins of any value. The Aces and Lynx head-to-head wise, 8-2 head-to-head wise, and their last win was the beginning of the season. The Aces are probably going to win this by. I think the Aces probably smoke them, but no bet for me. But forgot to talk about the player prop in the last game here in the Atlanta Dream and Phoenix Mercury game. I like Alicia Gray over 14.5 points. One thing that I liked about the Atlanta Dream that they've really been switching up has been they've been really cutting down the shitty players. We're just going to say the shitty players. They're only playing like 6-7 players. Everybody's healthy now. Like, remember we always say like Jordan Canada, I ain't betting shit with the Atlanta Dream without Jordan Canada. Jordan Canada's finally back. Ryan Howard's finally back. She looked good and they threw on 3 in the Olympics. Alicia Gray is back. And I think we just attacked the Diana Taurasi. I love Diana Taurasi. DT is my girl. I loved what she did on Sunday night against Kennedy Carter. She did a little step back jumper right in her face, and she said, "You're choking." And that shit was hilarious. And then they went to continue on and beat the bullshit out of him. But she's a horrible defender, and this is a bad defensive spot for her against Alicia Gray. Alicia Gray, most notably, I mean, she won every damn contest during All-Star Weekend. I think this is a good spot for her. Ryan Howard absolutely smashed the Mercury in the first game of the season. I mean, she had like 32 points. I think this is going to be more of an Alicia Gray matchup. Clea Copper will probably be on Ryan Howard. And then Natasha Cloud's probably going to have to play Jordan Canada. And then that's going to leave DT or Sophie Cunningham on Alicia Gray, and I would take my fucking chances. 14.5 points at Bet365. Her usage rating has been absolutely ridiculous. She's been averaging 37 minutes per game since the break. I like the that player prop. And then the other one was the in the Aces game, if you're looking for a little greasy player prop, I think Chelsea Gray has been looking a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie. Her play in the Olympics was so bad that it made her get her shit together. And by the end of the Olympics, she started getting her shit together, and it's kind of translated in her games in the WNBA since the return. She's been a lot more aggressive. She's gone over her point prop 2 out of her last 3 games. And her point prop tonight is absolutely ridiculous. 7.5 points at minus 130. She could sneeze and get probably 8 to 10 points in this matchup if this game ends up being close. Looking at the head-to-head matchup, she's gone over 7.5 points in 8 out of her 8 last meetings versus the Lynx since 2022, averaging 15.4 points and 30.4 minutes per game. So I do like the Chelsea Gray prop for the Aces. If you're looking for some greasy player props, maybe you're on Prize Picks, use promo code Pub Sports Radio. One stack gets you 2 back. And it's also a good player prop as well. But when it comes to the total, my initial lean was the over, but I actually think this goes under. I think the 167 is a little bit generous, but it could be a little bit of like free throw stuff in the end, and that's what covers the Aces. That could be one scenario, or the Aces just smoke them. I think the Aces just smoke them. I mean, I think the 8-2 head-to-head just shows that they have their upper hand on them, and the Aces haven't really looked that good in the upper echelon. You know, Becky Hammond is going to get up for these ESPN games, especially with that lawsuit case right now going on with Dearica Hamby.
I love it, Brizzy. So Taurasi under 14.5 points, minus 115. Dream plus 2.5. Is Chelsea Gray over points? Because it's 8.5 over 365. Is that official pick, or is that just sort of a lean?
No, that's just like a lean. And it was Alicia Gray over 14.5 points. Elena Dream starting shooting guard.
My bad. I did the wrong way.
Will be guarding her more than likely.
Okay.
But if you like the Taurasi under, it's funny that you said that, Jimmy, because I actually think the Taurasi under is probably in play. If you wanted to play a Taurasi under PRA, I don't think she's going to play that good tonight.
And if they're worried about her defensive responsibilities, she might not play that much. Gray over 14.5 points. Sorry, I had the mix
that was your subconscious telling you the bet I had a Taurasi under her point prop.
Nothing wrong with fading a 42-year-old.
I mean, it's absolutely astonishing that she's playing pro basketball at the age of 42. I mean, she got drafted in the fucking WNBA when I was in like elementary school. Like that shit.
I love it, Brizzy. So we're gonna give Brizzy the day off tomorrow. There's only one game in WNBA, so give Brizzy the day off. We'll hammer that with you guys in the chat and Jose. He'll be back Friday because we have a huge 4-game slate in WNBA. Brizzy, tell us a little bit about the UFC this weekend and the Locker Room podcast. And congratulations on the huge numbers in the Contender Tuesday night show last night, live stream, which will be going on throughout the year. But tell us what's going on Locker Room podcast this week.
Yeah, we had Dana White Contender Series going live every Tuesday night here at Pub Sports Radio. Had some special guests on and stuff like that. I mean, man, I'll give credits to flowers to Joe Todaro last night. Joey got hot last night, man. First fight of the night, hit a sub prop plus 700 on a minus 200 favorite. And the night just continued on from there. Joey was hot last night. I'll definitely give him his flowers. And you can catch him on the Locker Room podcast. I mean, he had the call in this week, and it's part of the core for this weekend. So check out what the core is. We're trying to get the streak back going. The streak got busted last week, Jim. We did not get the right side of the split decision last week. Gamrot ended up, how do I say it? It was like the core busted, but Dan Hooker was plus 600 live after the first round. I mean, how do you not hedge it at that point? I mean, that line was just off, but that's why we're going back for vengeance this week. We're back in the Apex, and the Apex cards are where it's at. Dana White Contender Series is going off. Make sure you guys join the pubsportsradio.com UFC contest. We got a lot of stuff going over on the website, a lot of contests with NFL season right around the corner. So make sure you guys head over there and check out the UFC contest. That's one of the free ones there. So you can get a lot of idea of how the contests work on the website.
I love it. I love it, Brizzy. Thank you for rocking with us. We will see you Friday with the 4-game slate. Thank you for making time for us, my man. Please support our guy Brizzy on X at getting_bills_ and check out the Locker Room podcast weekly. It premieres every Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern. Brizzy, thank you for your time, my man.
Have a good one. See you guys.
There he is, Brizzy in the house. All right, let's review all action here on Pub Sports Radio. First off, for those of you making moves, Mets up 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Cole Irvin having a decent start. It's gone dark because I guess Nemo, who finally got off the schneid yesterday, has been really scuffling at the plate. Let's see what Nemo does here. And pop out. Lazy pop out from Nemo. That ends the inning. So we're hitting the top of the fourth. Live total at 6.5. Orioles live at plus 160. Jose, my friend, jump on back with us so we can review our action. Fighting the good fight. You are battling, and we respect it very much. I'm sorry to hear about COVID. I hope you can rest for the rest of the day. Let's do a final review of action here on the show. Justin McKelvey stacks play today. Devers over 1.5 bases at plus 108. We have Jock Peterson for Crystal Craig's play today. Crystal Craig heating up. Oh, also, don't forget, $150 horse race tomorrow.
Huge.
And that's the biggest one we're at. $150 horse race tomorrow. So Jock Peterson, Aaron Judge is a hit parlay for Crystal Craig at plus 117. Billy Friedrich and Jose Bouquett on the LA Angels. Billy Friedrich also on Baltimore, New York, first 5 under 4.5. That is looking good. It's looking good. Mets first 5 money line for Troy. That's in business as well. Yankees first 5 minus a half. Brewers for Gerald Jones. Ron Crawford, play the day dog, Philadelphia Phillies. Crystal Craig, play the day number 2, over 8.5 in Diamondbacks, Marlins. Clark Edge on the under 8.5 in Texas, Pittsburgh. Mally Mallow, Irvin over 3.5 Ks. The Nerfy in the Giants game. Astros first 5 over 4.5. 9 Legacy on Blue Jays money line. Has a run line parlay. Orioles, Pirates, Red Sox, Marlins, Twinkies. All right. Then in baseball, BJ moved on the Mets for a best bet. In good shape. Jose's card gets started in 17 minutes. He's on the Boston Red Sox.
I made an addition as well.
Okay, beautiful. Well, which game is it in?
Yankees.
Okay, so we'll get to you when we hit that one. Fap Win gave us a look in race 7 over at Finger Lakes. That is Lock Box over at Finger Lakes. Let's copy and paste that right there from our guy Fap. My dude gets his card started with Heaney over 4.5 hits at even money. I get my card started with the first 5 under 4 at minus 120 in White Sox Giants. Then I wanted Arizona, but I can't get there with the market the way it is. And Daniel Hernandez, Danny Dog play today is the Marlins money line. My dude's on Jackson Merrill over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Cabs on the first 5 over 4.5. And I plan to be on the Twins. I'm going to take another look at it after the show. I'm on the first 5 under. I got the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 105 in Rockies Nats. DC Capper's best bets on the Guardians plus 164. It takes big balls for a Capper to have their best bet on a line that's gone 30 cents against you. He feels that's far too deep of a move. He's on Cleveland at plus 164. Jose's on the under 8.5 in Reds Jays. I'd like to join him.
I'm also moving on the Yankees minus 1.5. My 9th run line bet of the year. I'm 1-7 betting them this year. But if the Yankees don't show any kind of backbone from playing a shit game yesterday, then Aaron Boone is a worse manager than we all think.
Mally Mal also on that first 5 under in the Giants game. What did you get on the under or on the run line?
Plus 107.
Plus 107. Interesting. So I'm going to plan on joining Jose on the Reds Jays under. Daby Cab first 5 over 4 in Phillies Braves. Unfortunately, I got to go up against the Bookie Buster play of the day on the Braves. I'm going to be on the Phillies with Troy Torrance and with Ron Crawford. And my dude is on Real Muto over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Castellanos over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs as well. Cabs on the Brewers, team total over 3.5. That's a very fishy situation there. And 2 unders to close up my card. The under 7.5 in Tigers Cubs. The under 7.5 in Rays A's. Not going to get caught up on what happened yesterday. I can understand people, cappers that do. Yes, both games went under yesterday. And I'm betting them to go under again today, which is not comfortable. Dapper Capper, Pepe over 15.5 outs, minus 130. And my dude's play today number 5 is Freddie Freeman over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. By the way, Sharpie said he expects Flaherty to go 10 plus strikeouts. Then, did I miss anything of yours, Jose?
I think you're good.
Then Kong's clips on Florida State first half minus 6.5. We'll go over his other college football action tomorrow. Billy Friedrich thinks it's going to go over. I kind of lean towards the over, but I want more time on it. I see it moving to the under now. And Daby Cab's first official action is Florida State first half minus 6.5. Then in WNBA, Dream over 2.5. Dream plus 2.5. Gray over 14.5 points. Ron Crawford on the Lynx plus 5.5. And there's our guy Chang Kim in the house. I hope you feel better. Jose, need your energetic self back, my boy.
Shout out to you, King.
Change the man. I respect you fighting through this, Jose. So I have a ton of respect for that. Thank you for all that you do for us behind the scenes and being here despite being riddled with COVID. Friend.
My pussy is just dripping with COVID right now. It's bulbous, polluted COVID. It's disgusting. But shout out to Kelly McInnes, who we know who's struggled in the horse races. But I'm going to be rooting for you tomorrow, Kelly. Has a funeral to go to tomorrow during the horse race. So God bless you, Kelly. Good luck. I'm rooting for you. If it's not me, I want it to be you, Kelly. So good luck, my man.
Yeah, Kelly's a great guy. Great guy. Thank you to all who support us. We have nothing without you guys. $150 horse race tomorrow.
I better see at least like 4 or 5 new gold members tomorrow. You motherfuckers.
$50. I thought about going 100 for first and 50 for second, but that's not fun.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
we want winner takes all the glory.
And we will be doing heats, though. Getting down to the final heats. My dude, Saturated, Andrew G, Chang Kim, Dav Fenn, Kelly McInnes, Justin McKelvey. What a great group. Voodoo Ranger, DC Capper. Thank you, guys. Joseph Gomez, Coin. Thank you. G Martinez in the house. Ron Crawford, Wine Time Sports, Dutch Boy Fresh, Nordy in the house. Please sign up for our Cappers contest and our Survivor pool. Also, I'm going to be getting everything straight for the poker tournament. And I apologize we couldn't make it happen this Friday. I'm working on it. New connect, so it's taking a longer than usual. But we'll get it locked in. We'll at least have one before we pop off. Maybe we'll do 2. Maybe the Brazil game. We'll also do a poker tournament. We'll talk about that as we move forward. On behalf of all of us here at Pub Sports Radio, Jose, do you have the energy to bless our action and send us into the future?
Of course. God damn it. We have a hell of a time coming up here. We've got college football starting. The fucking MLB's in full swing, and we've got 2 assholes right here that are about to dominate the last month or so of baseball. On top of that, what other sports betting shows are bringing you high-quality WNBA action as well? Not many. And God damn it, what other shows continue to wear their shirt day in and day out until they have a losing day? That is us right here. If I keep having winning days here, I might have to just be constantly riddled with COVID. Who knows? If I go 3-0 today, I might have to go find Janice down the street who has COVID and hang out with her so I can catch it again. So who knows? God damn it. It's going to be a battle. We appreciate you guys. Let's go get some fucking paper today. Ooh, hey, Los Bookmakers. Let's go.